Yo, 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 what's up, people? Welcome to a special edition of Friday Night WrestleCast. But you know what? I think it's still going to come out on Friday. We're just doing this a little early just to get a jump on it because now that we know the current situation, WrestleMania is pre-recorded pretty much. Everything's been taped. And it's a two-night affair, so we figured, you know what, let's get a jump on this and break things down. So I am your host, Adam Vale. I'm joined by Sister Dana. What's up, Dana?
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
All right, cool.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
There you go for our Spanish-speaking audience. All right, Richard Bailey Jr., what's up, man?
How's it going, everybody? What's up, Adam and Dana? And, of course, our special guest for this evening.
Yep. Ricky. Hey,
everyone.
There we go.
Wash your
that was your
hands.
cue. All right. So we are all here. And this has been crazy. It's a crazy time in the world. It's a crazy time in wrestling. But, hey, we have wrestling. Like, that's the one thing. You know, I love sports. I love my soccer and football, basketball. I just love watching it. It's great. It's all gone right now. But the one thing that's still going on, whether good or bad, is wrestling. So I have to commend both AEW and WWE on at least giving us some form of entertainment that sort of reminisces of what was going on before all of this. Because we don't have that in any other sport right now. And it's kind of sad about how this whole thing panned out with this. But, we'll get through it. And the first step to that is WrestleMania. This is it. It's happening. We're surprised it's happening, especially with what we do know about it. But in typical Vince McMahon fashion and the Carney life, the show must go on. You know, we've seen people pass away the night before. It's like, yo, show goes on. Hell, remember when Owen Hart passed away during the pay-per-view? And they announced, hey, he passed away. It's like 2 matches later. He passed away. Well, let's get to the next match. It was like, bing, bing, bing. So the show must go on. I know it's sad, but that's the truth. See, Dana's laugh, but you know that's the truth.
Because it was just so...
That shit happened. It happened. You know, recently during, for those watching, I'm sure a large majority of our audience have watched the Dark Side of the Ring, the Vice series. And they just finished doing the 2-part with Benoit. Now we have the awesome New Jack one. But connected to what I was just mentioning, they talked about when Eddie Guerrero passed away. And Vince actually, which surprised me, and this is according to Chavo, was thinking about canceling the show, the upcoming televised show. And no, Chavo said, no. Eddie would have wanted the show to go on. So they went back, they just went straight to another show. That's just how it works. Show has to keep going. So yeah, even during the current issues, show must go on. Hopefully, it's a good show. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I know some people are like, what do you mean? It's taped. It's like, yeah, but you're talking on my end. Remember, I was a big Lucha Underground fan. Love Lucha Underground. And now it's all taped, very Hollywood. And from what the reports are, that's the view of what they're planning with WrestleMania. That it's not just all pre-recorded matches. Yeah, WWE for many, many years was pre-recorded before WCW forced their hand to go live. So we're not new to that format, but to the Hollywood effects, that's what I'm seeing from what the reports. And if they go in that route, if anyone watched Lucha Underground, they added all kinds of post-production with people disappearing and demons popping up and all this craziness. I hope they apply some of that Hollywood special effects into these matches, especially into the Fiend versus Cena. So before I get into any more, Dana, what's with the news? A lot happened. We're just trying to try to sum up some of it because there's a lot. Every day I feel like my feed's got all kinds of crazy rumors and crazy, I'm leaving here, I'm quitting here, I'm not wrestling here, I got this, blah, blah. There's always something. So let's just clean things up. What are we talking about right now?
Okay, so despite everything that's going on, this is the one good thing that mainly. This is a good thing that WWE is doing, is that they are giving us a butt ton of new content. Not necessarily new, but they're airing it on basic well, not basic cable. They're airing it on cable so that we can enjoy all of these programs without having the network. So,
Which is free, by the way.
which is free, by the way.
That
So,
is another one that they still don't mention that, which is it's funny. I watched Raw and then even now NXT, no mention. Oh, by the way, jump on the network. All this content is free. There are some things that are behind a paywall. You'll see it pop up, but a majority of it is free.
the majority, including all WrestleManias, are free. A lot of their WWE 24, The Untold. I was watching Ruthless Aggression. There is, remember, the Monday Night Wars documentary. A lot of their documentaries, aside from the classic ones, where you go back in the 80s and the 70s, they are free. And they've been free for a little while now. So that, kind of helps to alleviate what's going on. It creates a really nice escapism. On top of that, what we have for WrestleMania week, if you do check on the WWE Network, you'll see a lot of the best of matches, best of WrestleMania matches, which they compile. Say, for example, they had an Edge best of WrestleMania matches, so they'll go through all of his WrestleMania matches and compile from, number 1 to number 10. All of the, for example, the Broken Skull sessions, they're re-airing them, but it's going to be the uncensored version. So, yay! It's considered a no holds bar, so you're going to hear a lot of cursing and drinking. And the Dean Ambrose one should be interesting.
Yeah,
Once
I think that's when it really hurt him. That one, at least Dean Ambrose. I think his
Yeah.
interview on that really just set off a lot of things behind the scenes in motion.
Mhm. There's also the 15 greatest WrestleMania title matches of the last 15 years. Shawn Michaels' best WrestleMania matches. WWE's The Bump, which I started watching, is really, really good. Way better, in my opinion, don't kill me, than WWE Backstage. It's just really lighthearted and fun, and something that you like to watch when you're having breakfast. Or you can watch in the afternoon or whenever, but it's just really fun and lighthearted. Charlotte Flair has eight most memorable matches. There's Triple H's, all of his WrestleMania matches. This is an interesting one. They're doing a Where Are They Now with Eva Marie and Snitsky. Remember Snitsky, the guy who kicked Liz baby?
Yeah. Huh?
That was a weird one. This is really interesting, and this is kind of like the first time I ever heard WWE, aside from the commercials, really go out and promote. Remember WWE 2K20?
Yeah.
That
I heard.
game? They are doing a Dream Match Mania, which is basically all of the simulated dream matches, and it's all going to be played out in video
Oh,
games.
they're using the wrong version of the game to do that. Oh. They need to use 19 because,
That's funny. Now, this one is also a very interesting one. They're going to do a Best of WrestleMania Theater, which is basically you get to experience your WrestleMania matches from a different perspective. So, for example, it'll be through the eyes of, say, someone who was watching it in the audience or of another wrestler. It's weird, but it works, and it's sounds really amazing. So remember, a great example would be, remember when AJ Styles debuted at Royal Rumble a couple of years ago, and we saw all of those videos being uploaded of all these fan reactions as it was happening, and the people in the audience, and it was all different perspectives, something similar to that. And we still have NXT, and they're going to do the untold story of HBK and Kurt Angle. So that should be fun. They're going to do a really sad one that I'm still not over with, about Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. And, of course, it ultimately ending with Brock Lesnar. They're going to best of WrestleMania matches. 205 Live still exists. They're going to do a WWE Chronicle with Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton's best matches. Then they finally is going to do the kickoff show with WrestleMania that we'll get to. And, there's part 1 and part 2. So that should be a lot of fun. And if you still feel like I don't want to go on the network, we're getting a lot of TV program. If you have Fox Sport or FX1 or Fox Deportes, which I'm pretty sure I just butchered, they have been, if you have not been aware, they have been airing Royal Rumble and WrestleMania matches every day almost at 7 o'clock. So you get a lot of that. They're also airing a lot of the WWE 24 specials, the Ruthless Aggression series. There's the best of, like I was saying, with all the different wrestlers. That series has been airing. It's over about 22 hours of WWE content on FS1. So yay for that. So they're providing a lot of programming for escapism and to celebrate a very unique version of WrestleMania.
Um, I was wondering. I remember when was it a week or two ago when they announced that they were going free. So remember a while ago they had talked about during their financial meeting that they were going to offer a free tier.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, is this the free tier but not officially launched, right? They just turned it on and it's like, here we go. Because, I mean, like, for example, Watch Now, right? If you click the Watch Now, which is basically turning the network into a TV where it just keeps going down the list of the scheduled shows, that is behind the paywall. So you have to individually click on things to activate, which is no biggie, but it's just something I noticed. And I was like, it doesn't really tell you that when you get to this within the app. And I think that it just... If they're going down that road of like, all right, this is the new free tier model, because they haven't really said if there's a cutoff point, right? This is
They
it.
didn't say. I kind of feel that there will be some kind of cutoff when WrestleMania 36 airs, because we all know we're not going to get 36 just available on the network without paying.
Yeah.
So
There'll probably
wonder
be some cool down period. Maybe they'll say it. It was like, hey, 5 months. Who knows? I don't know.
So I feel that something is going to get cut off, whether it's just we are not going to be able to see WrestleMania 36 in general and they keep it as it is. But I don't feel that this is going to be, a much, a larger thing. I think that they're really grasping at straws. It works though, that they're really trying to do anything to get people to sign up for the network. And as we know, their numbers are nowhere near what other streaming networks or even just basic regular streaming networks should be.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's upsetting when you start seeing certain programs, for example, NXT that I used to love watching, and then it just gets dumped on the USA Network. It's like, okay, well, what's really the point? I mean, just for pay-per-views, and then you heard for a while that they were shopping around the pay-per-views to ESPN and Fox, so sort of butchering their own service at that point.
The fact that they've been airing all of these WrestleManias on FX1 kind of makes me feel that they're doing like a tester to see, can we sell this off to Fox?
Yeah, and then on the other end, on Fox, it's like, are people tuning in? Do they even care? I mean, but then there's also another situation to this is that these sport channels don't have content. All these leagues are right now on hiatus, or some are just completely gone for the season. So they need something to fill up that airtime. And here it is. WWE has all this content, which has never aired on free TV. So I was like, all right, well, this is like an exclusive then. Because this has always been behind your paywall. So they can, it's interesting. I'd be curious to find out how much WWE is making from this. To see if it's even worth doing. Or
I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I don't know, because I mean it's a counterbalance. Because they're probably getting something, but then on the other hand, they're losing a lot of money by canceling all these live events. And a lot of the wrestlers make their money from different merch sales and from house shows. And if those are not happening, then are they getting paid or?
No.
It's tough. It's tough.
There have been reports, not exactly concrete, that the lower tier wrestlers, because remember they just signed up a whole bunch of wrestlers, that the lower tier ones are afraid that they're going to lose their job because they're not touring, they're not getting the opportunity to be on TV or even do dark matches.
Oh yeah. I could see that. Or what about the in betweens, like the Revival? Where they're in between where they left and they are not getting paid anymore, right? There was some dispute, or they already hit their numbers, so they're not getting paid anymore. And the intention is that they're going to AEW, but if that deal hasn't finalized yet, we don't know. Maybe it is and they're just sitting on the sidelines, but what if it hasn't? AEW's in the same boat as WWE. All promotions, everyone's in the same boat. No live events. No live events means no money, really. I mean, your TV deal is your TV deal, but You make your money from merch sales and other things and from live events. And so I'm sure they're also on a hiring freeze. They have to be. Both companies are during this uncertain time. So what do you do? What do you do if you're the Revival and you're in between? It hasn't happened. They don't have a deal just yet.
Right.
I don't know. Who knows? All right, what else you got?
Now, this is another one that also talking about the network and kind of how it's like, screw the network by WWE. I should start this off by saying, even though people may have, just sign up for the WWE network, it's very simple, $9.99. Many people don't have that kind of opportunity. Many people don't have internet access, which I know it sounds really crazy. So they just can't. And also, the WWE network is not available to everyone in every country.
But they have pay-per-view. It's still going to be on pay-per-view.
Can I finish my sentence? It's a disclaimer.
Damn, all right.
Because people were like, sign up for the network. So I was just disclaiming, saying, this is why they're doing this. What WWE has decided to do now is that they have expanded their pay-per-view access, meaning that what they're going to do is they have partnered with Fight TV, and they're going to offer another pay-per-view option for WrestleMania 6.
Fight TV?
FITE?
Yeah, well, they do House of Hardcore. They also work with Impact. I think they own Impact. Mm-hmm. The Owl Company. There's it, right?
Yes. Well, they are partnering together for another pay-per-view option for WrestleMania 36, as both nights of the year's WrestleMania will be available via Fight TV in the United States and in select international territories. So WrestleMania will still be available on the network for your $9.99. It'll still be available via traditional pay-per-view. For example, I have Spectrum, which means I hate myself, but it'll also be available there. It'll also be available through the Fox Sports app and Fox Sports website. Now,
but that's at the full price, right? That's the $60 price.
So you're making me miss the thing now.
I don't know. I'm just saying. You mentioned all these services. So I'm just wondering. All right.
Black Jesus. Okay, both nights of WrestleMania are priced at $34.99. Okay, but when purchased individually on Fight TV, you can get the weekend package for $59.99. Yay! Which means both nights are included for $60. Yay! So you get that whole package, which, considering the circumstances of a WrestleMania show that we are most likely nowhere getting, which means no audience and probably weird tape stuff, I don't know if $60 it's worth that amount.
Do we know if they refund people that paid in advance for these packages for WrestleMania? Because remember, they go through their own package system where, hey, contact us and we'll set you up with the travel arrangements and seating.
They would have to.
They have to, right?
They would have to. The PR backfire behind that, they would have to.
I have to imagine that anyone that bought stuff through third-party stuff like eBay or StubHub are completely screwed.
Oh, that's done. Yeah, that's all sales final. But yeah, I'm just thinking about the package deals because usually within like a month after Mania, they're already ramping up and saying, hey, get ready for next Mania. Go to our website, get ready to do the package deals and stuff. And there's people that jump, ahead. They plan ahead for that.
Oh, yeah. People start planning the day after that WrestleMania is over for the next WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I used to go to WrestleManias and plan for that, and I can tell you for a fact that the moment they announce where the next WrestleMania is taking place, you already have people booking hotels for those locations. Oh yeah,
absolutely. So, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to get their refund, and also to remember that both of the shows for the main cards will be at 7. But here's an interesting thing. We're getting, the pre-show, the kickoff show, which will start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is weird because that means it's only a 1-hour kickoff. And for anyone who's kind of been aware of who's been doing this WrestleMania for a while, that's really short. Because even Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but is that a 1 hour is that 1 hour kickoff for just one day, or is that for?
I heard it
Are
was
they
for
doing on?
each. Yeah, I heard each
For
show
each
is
one.
getting 1 hour.
Each show is getting 1 hour.
Oh,
So-
then that should be fine.
I mean, yeah. So this should be really interesting. I'm kind of excited, nervous, but excited to see what's being pulled off.
Yeah, this is.
It's weird about the advertisement because certain matches are still kind of still being commercialized and advertised that are not happening.
It's not there. They are getting lazy with updating that information. But this is something that we've talked about here on WrestleCast. That WrestleMania, it's massive and it's long, 6 hours and stuff. It should be 2 nights. They should pull the New Japan model and make a multi-night event out of this. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they're doing it. I mean, not due to the circumstances, but I'm just glad overall. And if this works out, who knows? This might be the new standard going forward. Next year, hey, 2 nights.
I think this is why they did it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky?
It's like, I was going to say that, again, like, having been to multiple WrestleManias, like, people have just been worn out because it felt like each WrestleMania was longer and longer. And by the, and some of these WrestleManias, like, you'll be in there at 5 o'clock and you won't be out of there until past midnight. And, like, by the end of the show, people just want it to end so they can go home. So it's like, you don't want to fatigue your audience. You split it up into 2 nights. It makes it feel like an even bigger deal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and they can still do all their little fanfare access and all that stuff. They can still do it. Just do it earlier. It's like, hey, early in the morning, this is what's going on. It's starting around 8 in the morning till noon or 1 or whatever. That way, it'll still give time for people to go back to the hotel, go eat, do whatever before the pay-per-view starts. So they can still pull it off.
And remember, you still have content if you still want to watch something on FS1, because they'll still be airing stuff to get you in the mood. So it all works out.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. All right. So anything else?
Absolutely. Here is the thing that if you don't know, right now in Florida, they have issued finally a stay-at-home mandate, and this ends up directly impacting WWE and also AEW. Remember, they both kind of film in Florida.
Yeah.
They've been doing the taped matches for both programs. Well, all of the programs that is WWE and AEW Dynamite. So what is happening now is that it's been through Seth Rollins. He has stated through an interview with Sports Illustrated that after WrestleMania 36 is done and over with, that WWE is planned or in talks of going on a little hiatus because they don't know how to proceed next. So I don't know if this may mean that we are going to just get what we've already gotten, which will be some reruns of other WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or whatever pay-per-view, Starrcade or Bash at the Beach. But they have to really take a break and figure out what's going to go on monetarily and what's going to go on with their shows. When this whole situation happened, this was also very sudden. So it didn't give them enough time to fully plan everything like they wanted to. So this is going to be considered their break.
You know what? And this is something else we talked about that they need. They do need a break. They always count WrestleMania as the finale for the show, right? Like, after this starts a whole new year. Where's the break? They live the carny life. It's every day, 365. Come on now. You got to take a break. That's why we see all these injuries. This is great. I'm all for this. Let this happen at least for, 2 weeks, right? Maybe 2 weeks if you want to go a little longer, if it's out of their hands right now. But if not, they should still do this. Right after Mania, do a cool down. Do a little, hey, this is what happened there. Do some little other specials that you have. Give everybody time to just take a break. So I could see this happening. I heard a lot, we'll talk about it soon, but heard a lot of matches were already taped. They have a lot of content that they've been piling up, preparing for this. Yes. So I mean, it's good news, I think, for the wrestlers also. A lot of these wrestlers, they're normal people, just like us. They want to spend time with their families. They definitely don't want to be on the road a lot. Not everyone is from the States. Some can't even travel back due to the travel bans that are going on. So,
Right. There's just a lot of travel bans. And as you were saying before, Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheets, he also stated that they have filmed the April 6th edition of Raw and April 8th edition of NXT. They've already filmed the April 10th episode of SmackDown. And after they are done airing the shows that they already filmed, that is when they have to figure out what is going to go on. So April 10th April 11th or so will be the deciding factor. Well, we will know more information of where they go from now, because a stay-at-home thing means that WWE is not essential, so they got to stay home. And then on top of that, they can't travel anywhere. It's a travel ban as well.
You see, this is when they're probably kicking themselves. Man, we shouldn't have let Matt Hardy go. He has a compound. He has a ring. He has all that space.
He has a drone.
He has a drone. I mean, they could have did everything right there. They could have like, all right, we can do this. We'll just start filming from his compound over in North Carolina. So
Yes. Which, funny enough, you said that. That is what AEW has been doing.
they're filming from his compound?
They've been using Vanguard 1 and doing a lot of, they've been filming from Jericho's home. They've filmed from Young Buck's home, and they've been doing a lot of overhead shots. Vanguard 1 is a full-blown character with his own storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw Jericho was trying to recruit him into the inner circle. He was like, you could join the inner circle. That was hilarious. And I know if there was a loud crowd, they would have popped for that.
They would have.
Release the hounds!
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. So they've been doing a lot of different filming on different locations. They've been outside. They've been everywhere. So it's time to get creative and for just to have a break, like you were saying. They've been doing this for so long that it's, been just routine. Mm-hmm. And I think that this will start up the creative juices. Hopefully Vince will listen. That's the main thing. Mm-hmm. And this could be a good thing.
Yeah, this is a good thing. I mean, we're seeing it now in the private sector. A lot of companies are offering the ability to telecommute, which usually would not support. These companies would not support it, but they're saying, "Oh, well, we have to do this," and then you're also seeing that it works. Mm-hmm. And so it does. It is changing the mindset, and hopefully this will change Vince's mindset to like, all right, we can do this as an alternative whenever we do need to take breaks, and there's ways around it. You don't have to have a show every week, every month, especially after Mania. It's a long event because remember, the wrestlers also do Access. They do all these other promotions. Yeah. They're constantly busy. So it's not like, you only wrestle one night, this week. Yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of other things. So it'll be cool to just have, we see it with NXT. After TakeOver, usually the next NXT is just showing either the dark matches that happened or just recaps. They don't do a live event. So they can do that again. We don't need it. We don't need to do that. It's still there's still content. It's just proving that they can create content in advance and give your wrestlers, your performers, much needed time off and rest.
And also shows like Backstage and The Bump has been filming remotely.
All that I've seen that. I mean, even late night shows have been doing it. Everybody's doing the Skype and the podcast. Version the Zoom. Of this. Yeah, that's it.
And it works, and it saves money.
Oh, yeah. I could see some shows just permanently switching to that format. Like,
it works.
We'll just go this way, yeah.
And we can get a run-by from Jon Moxley, so it works.
Mm-hmm. All right, what else you got, Dina?
So lastly, not sure if you wanted, I know you touched on it very lightly, Viceland aired The Dark Side of the Ring with the New Jack episode. That was absolutely crazy.
New Jack.
Hello? I think he's a serial killer who
Yeah, no, he's crazy. And that's another one that you could still see his matches on the WWE Network because they have all the ECW stuff. So if you want to see all that craziness, that's there on the network.
and killing, and people being stabbed with claws
Yeah,
and nails.
yeah, a lot of that stuff I remember when it happened, and I remember the issues. The one part that I didn't know was when he was fighting the one guy that lied about his age, that he was really 17. I didn't know that he was a minor. He's so big.
Yeah.
He was a huge guy, so I did not know he was a minor. And also, I didn't know that he was actually, New Jack was using a blade. Like a really good. And he said that at first it didn't look like a cut, so he went even deeper.
Yeah.
So some people are like, oh, well, look what he did. But look at New Jack's head. You know what I mean? He can give it and he take it. You know, so he's been through some shit, but he's open. Hey, I was on a lot of drugs, which you have to be if you're going to do some of the crap that he pulled off. I mean, the tasing a guy up on the scaffold, Grimes, and then chucking him off, right, during the scaffold. Oh,
Yep.
can you imagine?
Yep.
Can you imagine being tased and you can't move your legs and now you're being thrown off a scaffold?
It was to the point where we know how hardcore matches can be, but it was intentional.
Yeah.
I felt he was intentionally trying to actually kill people.
And he was open about it. He says it, and he was like, oh, I was hoping he would miss. And he would just hit the floor.
And what I don't understand is that the promotions kept allowing him to do this.
He was.
And they knew he had a reputation, but they still allowed it.
Like, I remember going to ECW events, and they would have the garbage can and say, hey, you can fill it up. This is what the gangsters are going to use during their match. So people would put all kinds of items. I saw a Nintendo in there one time. People dumping all kinds of craziness. And that was it. Remember, if you remember, their music would play throughout the entire match. Mm-hmm. So it was weird. It was like a weird intermission, chaos, fight thing. Like, oh, that music's playing. They come down. Their music's still playing. Did the match start? Yeah, it did. There's a ref there, but the music's still playing. It don't matter. It was crazy. The staple
and then
gun.
The affirmative action rules that they had where they only needed a 2 count instead of 3.
Oh yeah, the 2 count.
That was crazy.
Yeah, but it was crazy, and I also didn't know about the Smoky Mountain. I didn't know too much about the past, and I didn't realize D'Lo Brown was part of that crew.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for those, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's there. Go watch it. Season
Sandman.
2, episode 3.
Still there.
What was that?
And Sandman, I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, Sandman. Sandman was a big part of this. I
Yeah.
was really surprised by that. I thought it was going to be pretty much Mustafa talking about
And he
it.
was sober for the documentary. I don't know so much of the after show, but he was sober for the documentary.
Yeah, but it was a different time. It was a different time, and it definitely opened up the doors. We started seeing a lot more of those crazy matches in other federations, and that door has opened up a little bit in regards to AEW. We saw it with Kenny Omega and Mox when they tried to bring some of that, and it just shows how the audience has changed when you start seeing people walking out and the backlash that they received for that match, and it just shows the audience has changed. It's that bloodthirsty crowd is not there. At least it's not for that market and for that brand. That's not what they want to see.
And we know so much more now than what we did before. Remember, we didn't know what CTE was back then. We didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
And now, we know a lot more things.
And we still see that, though, because we still know for a fact Cody did take that direct headshot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And he knew that was coming. And it's like, why? Why are you
I don't know if he
up?
knew that was coming.
He knew the shot because they said
Cody's crazy.
That was the whole gimmick. That's why that was to build the Sean Spears gimmick with the chair. That he does the little walk around and he is the chairman of the AEW. That was to build his character. It was all planned out. The cut wasn't planned out.
Yeah, I thought he turned too quickly. And that's what I thought.
It just cut him. The chair just popped him open. Who knows the scar tissue he already has from other cuts. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some of the forehead in that area, it's just all, it's so raw that the slightest little push and tear, it'll just rip it up. So.
Oh my god!
Like New Jack, you saw that. That was.
Yeah, well, he's been stabbed in the head with glass.
Oh yeah, he had all kinds. I remember with Sabu used to bring out the fork from his uncle, the original Sheik, and bring that fork out and start stabbing people with a fork. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jeez.
That was nuts. But it's changed. It's changed. The audience has changed. I don't know how many people are still into watching all that craziness, barbed wire matches and stuff. I mean, at the time, it was novel. I remember seeing Sabu. Sabu, till this day, I still think is one of my favorite. I don't care. People are like, oh, he talks crazy on Twitter. Who cares? I just enjoy the performer and the craziness that he was pulling off in the ring. I remember his arm getting stuck in barbed wire, and then still while he was in the match, just taping it up. Or when he cracked his jaw, Bill Alfonso went and got duct tape and just taped up his jaw so he can continue match with a broken jaw. It was a different time. It was crazy. So it came and went. It's part of life, and now we know that it's not coming back. AEW tried to bring some of it, and people just aren't having it.
It doesn't need to come back.
Yeah. So, everybody go check that out if you haven't. But it's
out
worth
the Benoit.
Yeah, the Benoit. Benoit. 2-part series. It's brutal. It's brutal. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it because I can go on a rant about that. But his son needs to stop using the Benoit name. If he wants to get into wrestling, don't use it. Don't use it.
Like, I get it, but no.
Yeah, go get a gimmick name. Use a different name. Don't do it because then you're always going to have that stink on you. And yes, that's his father. We get it. But if you want to get into business, and even Jericho said it during that piece, he's like, it almost killed the business, what Benoit did. So the last thing you want, even if you want heat, that's not the type of heat you want. And it doesn't look like he wants to go down that road. So then why are you using the name? Just pick a gimmick name. Dynamite something. I don't know. Anything. Pick something. You don't need to use that. And if people find out, then they find out. But at least they know you're not going about that. Sort of like what we see with Jungle Jack. From Jurassic Jungle Boy. He's Jungle Boy. He didn't come out as Perry's kid. Luke Perry's kid. He's trying to make a name for himself under his own merit.
Yeah.
And not let the name do it. And that's the approach he would have to go under. And just drop the Benoit. Just... Because I remember I saw online, and it's a common French name, Benoit, and there's a lot of people that have no connection to wrestling or the family, and they said that they constantly get weird looks whenever they approach in a restaurant or whatever, that somebody who does know the story, and then it's like that weird look, like, are you connected to the family? Are you related? Do you know this situation? It's one of those. So they're stuck. Now they're tainted, and they have no connection to this. It sucks. It sucks. But let's go to happy news. Happy news. We still have a WrestleMania. Everything else in the world has pretty much been canceled. But Mania goes on. So I don't know if you guys seen the same report. Because who knows? It could change. Anything's possible. We don't know how much of it was really filmed. Apparently almost all of it was filmed. I don't think anything's going to be happening live for these 2 nights. But I see 16 matches. Is that what you see, Dana? Rich?
I see 16, but I remember 5.
You remember 5. That's pretty... Oh, man. I hope not. Not for the sake of 2 shows, 2 nights. It can't be all video packages of what could have been. We don't need that.
It's still watching those Roman Reigns commercials, so who knows?
Oh, Roman Reigns. Yeah, and that's out there. I hate the reaction of some of these people online and what they're saying about these people. Like, especially Roman Reigns. They're like, oh, why is he not going to be all that? Come on now. Especially what's going on. No one should be throwing stones at anybody for this shit.
Especially from not a 2-time cancer survivor.
Yeah, come on. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Let it go. Everybody, there's no reason. There should be no reason. So if someone says, hey, I don't feel comfortable, then you don't feel comfortable. Think about what we're watching. It's people, physical. They're getting physical in the ring. There's sweat. All kinds of things going on here.
Blood.
Yeah, sweat, blood. There's other people in the back. They're still putting on a show, though. They're still doing it. While all these other sporting leagues have all walked away from it. So,
Roman Reigns made a good point on his own Instagram video where he said that like all his haters were complaining that he was, wrestling at WrestleMania and having all these main events. And now that he's actually taken a back seat, they're still complaining. And so it's like just people who are just negative.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. They don't care. They just want to bitch. There's people that just enjoy bitching. They'll find something to bitch about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's not bitch. Let's talk about these matches. There we go. Number 16, which I think is probably going to be the first opening match. This is Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. And Otis is going to be accompanied by... Oh, no, Dolph is going to be accompanied by Mandy Rose. I've fallen behind on this storyline. Is that official? Is Dolph Ziggler now with Mandy Rose?
Here is how it was kind of explained, where it would happen to be a happy accident on her end, but from Dolph Ziggler, it was all planned. From how I understand
So
it.
Dolph is saying that this was all a work. The whole thing of her saying that she's interested in Otis and leading him on. This was all a work.
Whoever wants someone who looks like you, she's gonna choose me, baby, that kind of thing.
All right. Well,
And then Mandy didn't really have much to say, which is odd. But yeah.
I don't know how far they are in this storyline. I don't know if this is towards the end of this storyline. If it is, I'm assuming Otis is going to get the win. Because that's usually how it works with this. The underdog who's getting used and abused, especially by someone like Dolph, the pretty boy, and the girl, if she is playing that snarky. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a twist. And Mandy will help out Otis to win this.
Or maybe Sonya can show up and Mandy chooses her. I don't fire and
if
desire.
they can go back to that original storyline, yeah.
That would be appreciative.
That would be. That would be. So, I don't know. For me, I'll go with Otis. It's a regular match. So I'll say Otis. What about you, Richard?
Matches.
Very obvious match. Otis wins.
Yeah, Otis wins. All right. Ricky?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Otis as well. I think it would be wrong if it was anything else. Otis.
All right. Dana?
I want Dolph.
You want Dolph. All right.
I'm sorry. I
She roots for the heels.
But who isn't Dolph with, what's his name? Robert Roode? Aren't they a group, a tag team?
God.
Because it says here it's a one-on-one, but we're going to assume that Otis's partner from Heavy Machinery is going to be at ringside. And then we're also going to assume that Dolph Ziggler's partner, Robert Roode, is. And I say assume because, hey, maybe they decided, I don't want to be part of this event because of what's going on. So maybe they won't be there. Maybe it will just be these three.
No, well, they had a tag match a couple weeks ago. So it would be nice if, they were, if Roode, I can see him being there. It would work.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying Dolph Ziggler. You want Dolph Ziggler to win.
I want Dolph Ziggler to win because here's the thing. I liked during the last time that I watched a WWE program, I'm blanking out, but I have been watching them. Otis went through a fit and he completely trashed the empty arena. And I think that if Dolph ends up winning, you could see Otis throwing another fit and finally manning up and really going after Mandy in the sense of, look, this is what's going on, be my baby type of situation. Because we always seem like the really shy, playful, chubby Otis, and I want that kind of not mean, that's the wrong word. I want that kind of manly backbone type Otis, and I think that when he gets angry, he gets that backbone.
Look at that. You're throwing more into the storyline here than I think the WWE are. I don't think they're thinking that far into it.
I think that Dolph can win and have the storyline continue.
I can see it continuing. I mean, if you have the Otis finally manning up.
If it's a dirty win, if it's a dirty win, yeah, then they can drag this on. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I haven't really kept up with this storyline. I have no interest in it. So usually when it pops up, I'm just fast forwarding. I really don't care about it. So, and it's on the card though, but it'll probably be one of the pre-matches. So, all right. So majority of us think Otis. Dana, you think Dolph. All right.
I want Dolph.
There we go. So the next one, this is for the women's tag team. We got Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And this one confused me a lot. it confused me a lot. Not just because Kairi Sane just got married, and she's, from what I heard, she's still in Japan. And with all the issues that we have with the traveling and quarantine, she has to be in the States by now under that quarantine time, right? Because she has to, if she's going to be part of this. From what I understand, this did not get canceled, and this, I don't know if it was taped, but I heard rumors that there were some matches that they were taping without all the competitors.
There are some matches that they did tape, and I know some they had to rework because of everything that's going on. But I do understand that she hopefully will be there and that she is in America.
Okay. All right. So then even if that's all said and they're a full tag team, I'm still surprised with the Alexa Bliss. Because of all the concussions she's had, all the health scares and issues, and even when she has matches with Nikki, it's pretty much Nikki that's carrying the match. Like that, from what I remember, the whole reason why they were put together as a tag team was to limit the amount of time Bliss had in the ring. Because they didn't want her doing too much one-on-one. What was that, Dina?
Well, yeah, she's dealing. Remember, she had those concussion issues.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I thought she was still having these issues. But I was really surprised when I said, well, they're going to go forward with them, not just as a tag team, but even being considered for carrying the belt. So here we go. I think this is, if that's the case, they might as well. This could be her last run when it comes to with the WWE because of all the health issues she's been having. So yeah, I'm going with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. It's a shame with Alexa Bliss, but then again, I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised that she became the star that she has. Because when she was in NXT, I did not see it. I really didn't see it. I just saw this. What was it? She was doing a weird butterfly gimmick. Remember, she was like a fairy. She did that for a little bit, and then she became the manager of the other two guys, Buddy Murphy and the other dude, and
Wesley Blake.
Yeah, you go Blake, and I just didn't see it. And then eventually we found out she's great on the mic, and if there's anything that we've learned with WWE, is that if you can have your shortcomings, but if you're great on the mic, you can go far. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are in the ring. If you're good on the mic, that can prolong your career and stay in the organization. And it definitely helped with her. And she's all right in the ring. She's pulled off some stuff, but it's her mic work that's amazing. And I think that's the other reason why they still have her. Because under normal standards that we've seen in regards to concussions, they'll usually just push people aside. Up too many concussions, you're done. You know, forget it. But they're giving her the benefit of doubt, and I think it's because of her mic work. So I say Bliss and Nikki. I don't know how good of a match this is going to be. I don't know about the chemistry between them. It's a regular match. Nothing crazy about it. No crazy stipulations. But hopefully it's a solid match. Again, I see on the Bliss and Nikki side, I see Nikki carrying most of this. So, but yeah, I say Alexa Bliss and Nikki. What about you, Ricky?
I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors retaining against Alexa and Nikki. I don't think I did the accent correctly there. but yeah, I mean, I'll admit that, like, I don't know how long the two teams have been feuding, if at all. So I don't know if this is something where they're building up towards Alexa and Nikki winning it. But I don't know. I think for now, just Asuka and Kairi will retain.
Huh.
All right. Richard?
Yep. I have pretty much the same pick. Kabuki Warriors. Seems to me like they are still invested in Asuka.
Yeah.
And even though she deserves better than to be a tag champion, I mean, I don't think you're going to have her lose at WrestleMania again because she's already lost at WrestleMania a couple times.
Yeah, she had a match on Raw. She was one of the few matches they had on Raw. Yeah, so, and I believe me, I wish, I part of it that internally I do want them to keep the belt. I think they're a great heel team. I love the fact they come out and they get to speak Japanese and do their promos. You know, it's awesome. I love that. I think it would be even better for the viewing audience at home. If we had subtitles, that would be awesome. You know, they should definitely pull that off, but they don't. But the thing is, it's the whole thing again. I'm going on heartstrings with Alexa Bliss and the issues that she's having, and I feel like this might be her last run. So they're like, you know what? Let's give her a title, so that way she has this. Because I don't see her doing singles competition ever again. So I don't know.
Well, they could still give that to them at some point, if not at WrestleMania.
No,
but,
I get it. It's just because
we'll
this
see.
is a Mania. That's the other thing. It's also Mania. Yeah, like you said, this is Mania. This would be her WrestleMania moment. I don't think she's ever really had a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, right about that.
You know, so like the Kabukis, they're gonna stick around unless the rumors of Sane wanting to go back to Japan are true. But if not, then they can stick around and at least for another year, and they'll definitely have another WrestleMania moment. But what about you, Dana? What do you think?
Okay, so here's the thing. Lo siento in advance. I don't like Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in this tag team thing. And I say this because I'm still angry of how they have completely destroyed Nikki's original character. And even with this now, I know they're friends in real life, and that's great and wonderful. I don't like it in general.
I don't like the fact she still has that crazy scream from the old gimmick as her entrance.
Yeah, but that's like literally, it's like a scream. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's all you keep, a scream. All of your personality and everything that made you really great in NXT and unique and fun is gone. But you can scream.
I miss Sanity.
I miss Alexa being a heel. It's still disorienting for me to see her which is weird to say because in NXT, prior to her heel turn in NXT, she seemed like just like a natural babyface character and a little boring at that. But when she turned heel, it's like, oh my god, I think she actually found her groove. Like, this is what she's meant to do, and she's done a really good job as a heel. I can't imagine her in any other role. It's just bizarre to me.
Yeah, it works that way. And here's the weird thing. I want the Kabuki Warriors to retain, but as you said before, the whole thing with Alexa Bliss, I strongly believe that she is not going to be doing this for much longer. So it would work as a WrestleMania moment. But overall, the Kabuki Warriors, I think they just need it more. They deserve it more in the sense of wrestling.
It's always better to have the heels have the titles. Yeah. I feel it always works out better. Because they just do a better job. They cheat and they do all kinds of craziness and they get away with it. And it just makes things more entertaining. Having a babyface as a champ gets dry real quick.
But here's also the thing. Asuka, now I know that this is taped, so it kind of can change things. Asuka's been having such a really great moment where these matches, the empty arena matches, she's truly shining. Mm-hmm. And all she does is just go out there and scream at people in Japanese.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And
yeah. And we already talked about it. She's definitely in the Hall of Fame just for what she pulled off in NXT. No one's ever going to come close to the title reign that she's had.
Right.
So that's a given.
And if you look at what she did in NXT and you look at what she's doing now in Raw, it's still a heel character, but it's like a different side of a heel. Mm-hmm. So we're able to see kind of like this versatility in still being a heel. So I really do hope that eventually they will give her that singles run again, but I don't see that happening. So I do want Asuka and Kairi Sane to retain, but there's just so many things that's just going against them. Like you said, Kairi Sane might leave, and she wants to go to Japan, and she just got married, and everything that's been happening. So I am literally don't know which to choose. Yeah. I'm on the fence. I'm actually just on the fence.
It's interesting because it's one of those situations where if you look at face value, of the teams, you're like, oh, obviously this team should win. But then
Right.
when you look on the behind the scenes, which is what we're talking about with a Bliss situation, with Zayn situation, it changes things up. It's like, well, there's other factors that are playing here, and in fact, it is for the title. Those factors are key.
Well, here's a weird way that they can probably pull this off. Is say for example, Asuka does win the Kairi Sane thing. They win, but Asuka turns on Kairi Sane, and Alexa turns on Nikki, and they form their own team.
Oh, you're talking a crazy Paul Heyman idea there. I could see that at ECW type of thing, but he is in charge of creative on Raw, so anything is possible. I could definitely see something like that happening.
There you go.
I could definitely see it. So yeah, why not? Why not? Curveball, throw it in, or they could have somebody else get called up. I know there was I forgot her name. There was another Japanese star from NXT. They were thinking of bringing. Was that it? That they were thinking of bringing up, and they could easily have her join the Kabuki, help them, and then maybe that's how they phase out Kari. If she decides to leave, they can just beat her up, type of thing, beat her out of the group, and she leaves, and there you go. They continue on.
Yeah, there you go. And then also it could give Nikki a chance to do, actual something like wrestle, aside from just doing that talk show thing. I miss her wrestling. She's a great wrestler. And she needs to wrestle more in things. Even though she just needs some more of the singles.
Oh, speaking of wrestling more, that leads to the next match. We got Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, who's been a mouthpiece for Cesaro and Shinsuke forever because of injuries, and he's just good on the mic. And this is something we talked about. Managers need to return to the business. They are a key part of the business. I don't know why Vince's land, he decided to phase them out. Makes no sense. But we see even NXT, they have a new manager of a new tag team. It's blanking on his name, but there's a new guy, and he's a manager. So it's cool. They're bringing managers back, and we're seeing it with Sami Zayn, with these two, Cesaro and Shinsuke. But in this case, Sami Zayn, as you know, is the Intercontinental Champion. That was a horrible match that we saw at Elimination Chamber with Braun Strowman, handicap match, going against 3. No-brainer, he was going to lose. Can't make all these other guys look so weak. They're not jobbers. They're quality talent. We all know this. So I knew it was going to happen. Just didn't know which one was going to get the pin. Sami got the pin. Sami is a champ. And in this one, he's going against Daniel Bryan, who is accompanied by Drew Gulak, who's his new boy there. Sami has to win this. He has to retain. He has to have at least one title defense like this. I mean, it doesn't make sense to just strip him for it. So I see Sami Zayn retaining. It'll be an entertaining match. Quality talent. Daniel Bryan's quality. This is another one I think was confirmed as taped, right? This was a taped match. So,
okay.
And also, I think it was also confirmed that Daniel Bryan already said he's taking time off after this. Sort of like the Roman Reigns situation, because he does have some respiratory issues. So he will be taking time off. So with that said, I don't see him winning the belt. There's no point.
Right.
It's like, hey, I'm taking some time off. If you got some other shows, count me out. It's like, oh, wow. So I guess we're not putting the belt on you. There we go. So, yeah, either way, regardless of those issues, I think Sami Zayn was going to retain. It just makes sense. Give him the run. It's great. He has his 2 guys enforcing him and backing him up with Cesaro and Shinsuke. And they seem to be having a good time. That's the other plus side. Some people are like, oh, why is Shinsuke playing second fiddle to some of that? They're friends. All these people look cool. And when you're cool with your coworkers, you don't care. You don't care. I mean, everybody's had projects with, oh, this is a shitty project that worked with them, but the coworkers and the people that you're working with on that team are cool. You're cool with it then, because you get along with them. They all get along. They travel together. It works out. No one cares about who has the title right now and second fiddle. They don't play that. They're all boys, and they're just helping each other out. They know Sami Zayn was recovering from this injury. He was their mouthpiece. Now it's his time to shine a little bit. So they're going to help him out. So I see Sami Zayn retaining. What do you think, Dana? I think you got something to say.
I wouldn't go that far as to say, like, hey, we're friends, so I don't really care what's happening. That's a bit...
No. I'm saying in this moment, not for life. I think for this moment, they see it's like, it just makes sense. I don't see anyone double-crossing him in this. I think this is it. I think they're going to say, hey, he won the belt. Now he's going to retain, and then who knows? Maybe it'll implode at some point where they're like, you know what? Why don't you give us one of the shots? And next you know, it becomes a 3-way match between them. But I don't see that happening, especially not at Mania. That's a heavy storyline to lay out. I don't think that's what they're building up here. This is just a title match with Daniel Bryan. We know Daniel Bryan's going to take some time off, so don't see him winning the belt. It's possible he could win the belt and then be like, you know what? I don't feel like coming back for a while. Who knows? I just don't see the way Vince works with titles. The only person he seems to give that leeway to is Brock. Go ahead, win the title, disappear for a while. He did it with Rock when Rock had the belt. Remember, went to Hollywood for a year?
Gosh, that was weird.
You know?
I didn't like that.
Well, we know why he did it. We know why he did it because it was no different, and I don't care what people say, it was no different than when, David Arquette did it in WCW when they put the belt, and Eric Bischoff said, they were like, why'd you give him the belt? He's having to wrestle. Because he's in Hollywood. He agreed to walk around with the belt everywhere he went. So whenever he did interviews for movies or anything, he was still carrying the belt. And when they would say, hey, what's with the belt? He referred to WCW. He said, well, I'm the WCW champ. So it was free promotion. That was the agreement. And that was sort of the agreement with The Rock. It was like, hey, you get the belt, go back to Hollywood, mention that you're the champ. I don't remember if he if he had the belt out whenever he did interviews, but he definitely, in a lot of photos, you would see him in and out of the car, and he would have that belt on his shoulder. He was the champ. So that's the whole point, just to get it out there. But besides that, I don't see that happening again. I don't see that happening with Daniel Bryan. So I'd say Sami Zayn. So you don't think Sami Zayn's going to win?
Here's the thing. This is a match that right after they filmed, because of Roman Reigns, when he dropped out because of his situation, Daniel Bryan said bye. Like literally after taping, he went home and said he's not coming back for a little while. He's taking a break.
Okay.
With his situation. Because of that, that's the only reason why I would say he didn't win. Yeah. I don't fully feel that Vince would become like, here's the thing, he could have easily said I'm leaving because it's such a unique situation, and at the moment nobody seems to know what to do moving forward. Everything just seems to be on hiatus and just we're taking it day by day situation. So he could very well end up winning and then just bounce, but overall, I just don't feel it. He doesn't seem to me like that kind of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I say he does not win.
Mm-hmm. Richard, what about you? What do you think is going to happen in this match?
Sami Zayn is going to win.
Yeah. Now, you feel that way regardless of what's going on, right? I mean, I felt like it was a no-brainer that Sami wins. He just obtained the belt. Why is he going to lose it now?
Well, you already said earlier that about people having a WrestleMania moment. We already know Sami Zayn has not had a WrestleMania moment, and he wouldn't have it if Daniel Bryan didn't give him the opportunity to have it. So I think that's the only choice that makes sense, because we already know Vince is not going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to give Sami Zayn I'm going to give him this belt and I'm going to give him a WrestleMania moment." That's not, Vince is not going to do that. Mm-hmm. This is Daniel Bryan campaigning behind the scenes, just like he got Drew Gulak more attention.
Yeah, Drew Gulak is awesome too. He's a great technical wrestler.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's but that's my pick. Sami Zayn should win it, and I don't think Daniel Bryan needs to necessarily win this match, but if the feud continues down the road, Daniel Bryan may take that belt off of him, but not right now.
Yeah. What about you, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think Sami Zayn retains. This seems to make the most sense. I wasn't quite sure. Like a week or so ago, thinking that maybe they'll just have Daniel Bryan win it, but it doesn't make sense to have Zayn drop it so quickly, right after like he just won it and he's got his posse with him that's got his back, and I didn't know until now that Daniel Bryan was taking time off after this. So it's like, I mean, they may all be taking time off if what the reports are true, but
his wife was making the rounds. She was making the rounds saying that he was definitely taking it off because of his health issues. his respiratory issues
So,
that he had.
so then this seems to me like this whole pairing with Drew Gulak is kind of to like groom him, maybe not so much as a successor, but to kind of prop him up of like, okay, guys, I'm going to be gone for a while, but here's Drew Gulak. He's also an excellent wrestler. You guys should, pay close attention to him. And so it'll just be a thing of where Gulak can kind of get over by association with Bryan. But in the meantime, Sami Zayn, say Sami Zayn retains. It's that's the pick, and he deserves it.
Yeah. What you mentioned about bringing him up sort of reminds me of what's going on with Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins. How Seth Rollins is really trying to get Buddy up there because Seth Rollins also plans on taking some time off. So, makes sense. All right, so the next one, this one, some people are like, but it's a no-brainer. We know who's going to win. I don't think so. I think we're going to see some twists. I think this storyline is going to continue for a while. And that's Edge versus Randy Orton. Last man standing match. This doesn't seem like, a one-off. And that's it. I don't think so. I think we're going to see a lot of curveballs in this one. I feel that we're going to see Christian play a part. And I think Christian's going to play a part as a heel. I could see him joining forces with Randy Orton on this one. And over the whole same storyline, hey, Edge, you shouldn't be doing this, so we're going to beat you out of commission so you never come back. I'm doing you a favor. And as sadistic as it sounds, I sort of agree with Randy Orton's logic on this. It's one of those things of like, if you have a friend who just makes bad decisions all the time, I'm still gonna smoke. You know what? You tie them up, you shove a bunch of cigarettes in their mouths, like, yeah, light them all up. He's like, do you want to do it now? No. Well, there you go. So I sort of understood when he said, well, I did this to help him because he wants to come back and he's putting his life at risk. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to permanently break his neck so that way he can stay home with you and the kids, the wife. This is when he was talking to Beth Phoenix in the ring. And I get it. I don't know, but part of me was like, yeah, I'm nodding my head watching. Yeah, I get it. I see this. All right. I get nervous. I get nervous when any of these superstars are coming back from serious injuries. Yes, I get it. He had another neck surgery, and apparently it healed up to a better point than it was before, sort of like what happened with Steve Austin. But Steve Austin has other issues, so that's why I didn't want to get back in. But I get that. But still, that risk is always going to be there. But then we also know that drive is always there. No athlete, doesn't matter wrestling, basketball, no athlete wants to be forced into retirement due to injury. That's just the way it is. We see it with boxing all the time. We see it with MMA. So many guys, they get knocked out all the time. They're like, they take time off. They think, all right, I feel better. I'll come back. No, concussions for life. It doesn't heal up. It's not one of those things. Your brain is loose, and that's it. So Randy, with the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, trying to come back. Guy had he got knocked out a bunch of times, and suddenly comes back, gets knocked out again. This can't happen. So my fear is that there is some truth to what Randy Orton's storyline is saying about you can get hurt and this whole thing could end. And it could. But Edge wants to do this. Vince is all about making money. And it's like, hey, if you really want to do this, sign the dotted line. If shit happens, you don't sue us. Okay, all right, there we go. We're going to do this, just like with Daniel Bryan. All right, we're going to at least walk away with some big pay-per-views, because I understand it's a reduced schedule, right? He's not going to be on every Raw and every pay-per-view that comes about. It'll probably just be on the main ones, and it's always going to be a heavy storyline. It's never just going to be one-off stuff. So I think this Randy Orton situation here, this is the beginning of this feud. I see it continuing on at least throughout till the summertime. There's got to be some more to it. So I see Randy Orton winning this match. I don't see Edge winning this. And it's going to be some kind of interference. Christian plays a part. Something happens. He gets screwed. It's the last man standing. Maybe he gets stuck under something. Who knows? They'll find some way. But that's how they'll prolong it. If you have Edge win, then that's it. It's done. And then what? Where does he go? Who does he feud with? They've been building around this. He's been gone for so long. Is he going to come out, do another promo, and somebody else is going to come out and says, I'm going to put you back into retirement? So I say Randy Orton wins. Some dirty way, some dirty decision. Something happens, but Randy Orton finds a way to win. What about you, Dana?
You are missing the biggest wild card here. Who has that ruthless aggression? and that is Beth Phoenix. Because you also have to remember that the last time we saw Beth Phoenix, she got RKO'd by Randy Orton, which kind of opened the door a little bit to some type of mixed interaction that we can get. Some mixed gendered matches, not matches per se, but some kind of retaliation. So while you see Christian interfering, I see Beth Phoenix interfering.
To help
And
Edge.
not to beat her husband.
I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. We're gonna throw in Beth Phoenix because remember she still has a full-time gig over at NXT.
She does. So I can see her interfering on behalf of her husband in this match as well, as also a retaliation for getting RKO'd out of nowhere.
All right.
So
you see Edge. You see Edge winning this one.
I can see. Here's the thing: what you said about Randy Orton winning, it makes the most sense. But I can also see Edge. But either way, here's the thing: if Edge wins, I just don't know who his next opponent would be. Yeah. And I really do feel so sorry for Edge in this situation, simply for the fact that he worked so hard to come back. He did the 17-hour drive to do that promotion that he did. That was really good with the camera.
Yeah.
And this is what ends up being...
Yeah, especially when he keeps saying he did it for the fans, for the universe, and he misses the crowd, and he loves the vibe and the crowd. He said the whole thing, and well, no, there's no crowd.
It's so sad that this is what happened. But it's to see him back. I don't know if his injury was worse than Daniel Bryan's, but I do hope that whatever it is, it's not very brutal, and I want to see him wrestle in other matches. I know that they also said, Triple H gave an interview today saying that some of it would be live. So it's mixed with tape and live.
Mm-hmm. I think Edge said he was going to change his in-ring style. We're going to see different moves. He needs to stop doing the spear. The spear is not doing any help to his neck and his shoulder and that whole... No, he needs to stop that.
And yeah, he needs to stop doing that. Just like, Jeff Hardy needs to stop doing Twist of Fate. It's just certain things he needs to stop doing.
Diving headbutt also, that just kill that off. Daniel Bryan still trying to pull that. Stop.
Yeah, no, it's not. And plus, we've moved past that. You don't need to be that reckless sometimes. No. But I'm excited. This is like one of the few matches that I'm really, really excited for.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's going to be, I hope. I mean, this is solely based on, their promos have been really great. The storytelling has been really phenomenal, and we rarely get that these days. So I'm really looking forward to this, almost to the point where I don't care who wins because I look forward to the next match when they get together again. I don't mind if this is something that is an extended storyline, but as for who I want to win, I do want Edge to win so that he can get that kind of like, haha, I told you so. I still got it moment. But I do want, like you said, Christian to cross him at the end of his win. Yeah. And it will work that way.
Yeah. Because I don't know. It's the fact that it's a gimmick match for his return, which doesn't require a pinfall, is another reason why I feel they leave this open for him to lose. Because... for this to really get to an end point, it has to be the 1, 2, 3. That's it. It has to be by pin. I beat you. Last man standing. All these are just gimmicks. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like, all right, well, you tried it, and yeah, you won up on this one, but you didn't really beat me in a real official match. So that's why I'm going with it. But what about you, Ricky? What do you think's going to happen?
I mean, my prediction is pretty simple. I'd say Edge wins this, and even if Edge wins, it doesn't necessarily mean the end of the feud. They have been, if you think about it, they have been building up to this since January with the Royal Rumble. So I felt like this was really meant to culminate at WrestleMania, but because of the lack of audience, they might prolong the feud a little bit longer. Who knows? But I think that, Edge winning wouldn't stop Orton from unleashing another attack on Edge the next chance he gets. So I don't think that it's necessarily that, but I do like your fancy booking of having Christian do the double cross because no one would really see it coming, and you wouldn't expect that from Christian. You would want to know what the motive is and all that other stuff.
It fits perfect for jealousy. It was like, why do you get to come back? Why did they allow you back and not me back? You know, I could easily see them shooting nasty promos on each other.
That's something, but the only thing that gives me caution is that I felt like if that was the direction they would have gone, they would have introduced Christian a little bit earlier.
You don't need to.
He's a surprise. Off. He's a surprise. And he's on backstage. This will bring more attention to backstage because then it was like, wow, he said he's going to talk more about it on his show backstage.
Yeah, I could see that. It would definitely be a lot more interesting if he had something like that. But I think for now it'll just be this is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most based on their promos. But I'll keep it simple. Just say Edge wins this one.
Because it was concussions for Christian, right? That was his reason for retiring. Unless I'm wrong, right? It was concussions.
I'm not sure if it was concussions or knee issues or something, but it was definitely health related.
It's definitely, yeah. Because I'm just thinking for story-wise, he could just say, well, why'd you do that? I did this because they wouldn't let me come back, but they let you back. You know what? And you don't deserve it. And then, boom, there you go. What about you, Rich? What's going on? You excited? Is this it? Is this your match of the pay-per-view?
Well, I will say this. I really like the fantasy booking ideas that you threw out there. I would love to see that. But as far as my pick for who's going to win this, I have to agree 100% with Ricky and say Edge for several reasons. Number one, his first match back after all these years away from wrestling, I just don't see him losing that match for that reason. But
you're saying a match. This is a last standing match. It's a gimmick match. It's not officially a 1, 2, 3 match. You know, it's these gimmicks usually anything can go. They don't care because it's never officially a match.
Well, no, anything goes. Yes, but once again, point number 2, because you just said a last man standing match. Normally in a feud, the last man standing match, that's when the feud is at its highest point, when you're having these gimmick matches. So I feel like you could, obviously, like Ricky said, have Randy Orton lose the match and still attack Edge. But Edge has said in many interviews, there are plenty of people that I want to wrestle. Mm-hmm. And he also said in that promo when he came back, I don't know how long this is going to last. I would imagine that if he wants to get the most out of this experience, have this match with Orton, that's it, and move on to whoever is the next person you want to face.
So do you think at the end of this match, we're going to see like a Rocky and Apollo moment where Edge wins, Randy Orton stands up, and then they just hug, they do some form of embrace, like Randy Orton says, you know what, fine, you still got it, you could still wrestle, and then there you go, now they're back together.
I don't know about that.
All that, no way.
Hey,
it's going to be an RKO out of nowhere.
Wrestling. Anything could happen. I could definitely see him like, hey, you proved to me, if Edge is playing that role, you proved to me, I gave you my best shot. I did everything I could, but yeah, your neck is holding up. So yeah, I guess you can continue wrestling.
I say all that, but Triple H hit Sting in the head, in the face with a sledgehammer, and still shook hands afterwards.
No hard feelings, right? No hard feelings.
And Ric Flair, I'm sorry, I love you.
What?
Remember? Okay.
Yeah, with Triple H. Shawn Michaels. She's talking about Shawn Michaels did the super kick. And he said, "I love you" to Ric Flair. You can see him mouth it, and he kicked him in the teeth and knocked out his dentures.
But one final point to make about why I say Edge wins. Everybody brought up Beth Phoenix, and you brought up the fact that she got RKO'd. Okay, yeah. So to have the bad guy do that to your wife, call out your kids, you think they're going to tell the audience, "Oh yeah, the bad guy needs to win now because that's what's right for things to."
No, that's why it's going to be a double cross. It's definitely going to be a dirty win. It's not going to be, wow, I just beat his ass and now he can't stand up. That's it. Close the curtains. No, it's definitely going to have to be some kind of interference if it happens, and that's why I'm
Christian.
that's why I'm throwing in Christian, because then it's like the attention now is not so much of Edge losing. It's wow, he lost because Christian. That was his boy, and then that can draw attention to the networks. It's like, hey, they had their own comedy show. They did, yeah, and it's on the network, which is free now, and you didn't watch it before, so go watch it now. There's 2 seasons of it, the Edge and Christian show.
So you see, that right there is a test to see if the writers actually are coherent and continual with the storytelling, because that right there is a story in and of itself. Mm-hmm. That you can say that, yes, Edge left to do his own thing, and because of that, he ended the show with Christian. So Christian is jealous, angry, upset about that.
He left the show. He left the podcast. They had their own podcast, and he left. That was the first sign that he was getting back into wrestling when he did that.
But there's only one problem. We know the writers. They're listening to Vince McMahon, and Vince does not believe in stories continuing unless it's someone that he really likes or cares about. So we'll have to see what happens.
We'll see. Yep. And then speaking of stories that no one cares about, here's your intermission. If you want to go get something to eat or go to the potty or something, we got Elias versus King Corbin in a singles match. Joe number 1, Joe number 2. No one cares. No one cares. They are pushing Elias as a babyface. Whatever. Don't care. King Corbin. Don't care. I miss him back as the lone wolf. I don't like this King gimmick. I don't like any of this. That could be just me, but I'm not interested at all in this match. So I don't care. Probably Elias, because they gave him the big push with the new babyface. But whatever. I'll just say Elias. All right, but Ricky.
Yeah, I'm going with King Corbin.
There you go. That's fine. There you go. You don't even have to give a reason. No one cares. Dana, what about you?
I'm so messed up. I'm going with Elias.
There you go. Richard?
I think Elias also.
Right.
I really don't care about the match, just like you. And this is a match that I'm wondering, why the hell is this on WrestleMania in the first place?
Filler for the restroom to go get something to eat. They have to do something. They don't do intermission, so you gotta go do something.
Because it's too big for one night.
Exactly, too big for one night. Everybody needs it.
This is a match that definitely should not be on this card.
There we go. Everybody gets their WrestleMania moment. So there we go. Then if you come back and you see this match, depending on how you feel about the competitors, I'm a big Black fan, so that sounds awkward to say. I'll just repeat that again. I'm a big Aleister Black fan. Right? Because it could apply to Bobby Lashley. He is big and black. So we got Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley with Lana. I think Black is going to win. This could be I don't know, a part of me feels like this is going to be a squash match. And again, this is me outside thinking, only because of what we've heard backstage, that Bobby Lashley is taking time off also. And so there goes that. But I also know that they've been giving Aleister Black this huge push. Even though he's been beating up on jobbers on live TV, he's like one of the few wrestlers they have performing. But he's just whooping ass. So and we also know that Paul Heyman is a fan of Aleister Black and wants to push him, which he should. He can work in the ring. He has a great entrance. He doesn't need any mic work. I don't know why they put the mic in front of him. I don't want him talking on the mic. He could be the modern version of Undertaker. So I don't know why they insist on having him talk. I don't need him to talk. Just come out of the crypt, come in, kick somebody in the face, do your flips, and do your little nonchalant sitting in the ring like, I don't care. Let's just do this. And that works for me. So I see Aleister Black continuing on his run here. So I see him winning. What about you, Dana?
First of all, I miss Rusev. It's weird watching Bobby Lashley. The whole storyline was just dropped.
Yeah. Well, is it still? They're still having the contract dispute, right? Isn't that the whole reason why they pulled him? Because
that's why. And now he's bald-headed. For those who don't know.
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah, Rusev is bald. Here's the thing. You know how you don't care about Corbin and Elias? I don't care about Bobby Lashley and Bobby Lashley. So I would happily allow. I want Aleister Black to win. Bobby just seems to be floundering at this point, where he doesn't seem to have any. Well, they're not giving him any direction on any type of character or storyline, and what he did have was suddenly dropped. Aleister Black kind of the same as well. So this again seems like a very pointless match. But overall, I would like Aleister Black to win and maybe come to the realization that he doesn't have to do promos from the basement anymore.
All right. What about you, Rich? What's going on here? What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's. I agree 100% that Aleister Black is going to win this match. I, however, do not believe it's going to be a squash match because it's going to be competitive. You know, if they can give Aleister Black a competitive matchup with Rowan, they're going to have to make this a competitive matchup with Bobby Lashley because he still does bring something to the table.
Yeah, and they have to fill up 4 hours of time for whatever
Yeah.
night this is going to be on, whether night 1 or night 2. So there really should be no quick squash matches on this card.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to go 4 hours. You think 4 hours?
That's what they said. They said like 3.5 hours.
No, can we just make it
And
All
like
night.
that might not even be counting pre-show.
That was our boy Meltzer reporting that. So
like I'm not surprised because we've had longer with WrestleMania, and it's nice that they split it up. But still, yeesh.
I'm sure there's going to be video packages, typical WWE style. You know, oh, this is what built the feud. And it's another 10 minutes of doing all that backtracking.
They
So
stated it. Packages, filming in multiple locations, undisclosed, and it's going to be mixed with live. And also, don't forget Rob Gronkowski or whatever his name is, Gronk.
Gronk.
So you know it'll be fun with a lot of dancing.
It will not be. Okay, so Ricky, what about you? What do you think? What's going on with this match?
Yeah, I think Aleister Black will win, and I do think it'll be like an 8 to 10 minute match. So it won't be like a complete squash or anything. But
Oh shit!
what happened?
Okay, I just thought about something that we didn't even mention for any of these matches. Are they gonna have Mania type entrances?
Well, I was thinking about that also. That I'm not sure how they could pull that off. Like you need like a bigger venue for the type of stuff that they want to do. Yeah.
Because I was thinking about Aleister Black, he has a great entrance. I'm like, oh, they'll probably just exaggerate it more for Mania. And then I just thought about it. I'm like, they probably won't be able to do that for any of these matches.
Well, in any match.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say any match that would require some type of musical performance that will not happen because now there's too many people in a confined space for a period of time.
Yeah, no, they won't have that. All right, so sorry to interrupt. So what do you think, Ricky? Who do you root for with this one?
Oh, definitely Aleister Black. And I was gonna say, as far as the entrances, like they'll probably, those cheesy 3D graphics that they've been putting.
Oh no!
They'll probably overdo that and make up for it, and it'll look bad.
I heard a rumor that they were setting up like monitors and TVs around the ring, so then that way it shows like influencers and celebrities watching. So
yeah, I saw that.
And they were gonna pump some kind of crowd audio or whatever or something. That sounds crazy.
No, that was what somebody, one of the now I can't remember the King. Remember King wanted them to pump in the fake audience crowd reaction.
Okay, yeah.
It's him saying he wanted that. They're not doing it.
So then, that would have been awkward. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do that.
No.
So
we don't need another. No.
But as far as Lashley, it's like I felt like all his heat was basically his program with Rusev, and this thing with Aleister Black is just like thrown together
because they can't because of the whole issue with the contract. Because this really should have been Rusev. This should have been their final battle. That was the whole buildup that we heard. Oh, this is all going to end at Mania. This is it. The final battle between the two will happen at Mania. But because of the contract situation, that's not happening. And so he's being fed to Black. They're like, all right, well, Black needs to keep going up the ladder. And you're going to be another ring on that ladder because of this. Not your fault,
Rusev
Bobby.
From having long hair. Yeah, I was going to say Rusev from having long hair 3 years ago to having as much hair as Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, well, Bobby Lashley has alopecia. He can't grow hair.
Oh,
Right.
That's why he has the bandana thing, because he has no eyebrows. So he needs that sweat to stop pouring into his eyes. So yeah, there you go. Fun fact of the day, everybody.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. So that means he's a bald eagle down there, so he's clean. Just saying. Just want to throw that in because I know some people were thinking about it. That's how it works, buddy. All right. So the next match, tag title match, the Street Profits versus Austin Theory, who is over from Beyond, right? That's what it was. The other promotion, the smaller one that they had for a little while. It's still around, but they had put a pay-per-view up on the network, and then they pulled him up to NXT. And then it looks like he's getting a shot over here on Raw to replace Andrade, because he is tag teaming with Garza, and of course with Selena Vega in their corner. So this is for the tag team titles, and I don't know if you guys saw Raw. That was a nasty bump that Ford took over the top rope.
I saw that.
That was nasty. I don't care what they say, miscommunication, this and this and that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't take away the pain that was inflicted on that man. Because that height and to fall the way he did. I'm surprised he's still in this match. Yeah, I'm surprised this is still going forward. But then again, who knows? Maybe it was already taped. We don't know. But hey, this is great for Austin Theory, because he went from small promotion to semi-small promotion. NXT still trying to get its legs and building up characters to poof, you're right up there. He jumped the line. He definitely jumped the line, that's for sure. There's plenty of guys that could have filled this spot. There's plenty of guys on the roster that could have filled this spot. But he has it, so he's here. I don't see them winning the belts. Garza and Aries. I mean, in theory, look, I said Aries. And Austin, I don't see them winning this. Street Profits are super over. Fans seem to like their dancing and all that. You know how I feel about that. But I see them keeping this. They're gonna retain. So plus it's still a new team with Garza and Theory. This might be temporary. We don't even know. Due to Andrade's issue. I don't know if was it injury. I'm saying he got
injured.
Injury.
A rib injury that he's not cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, he's not cleared to wrestle. So there goes that. So it doesn't make sense to put them in. And again, this could have been. They could have put another tag team in here. They could have put another. There's so many other tag teams that are around now. They could have put the Club in this. A solid tag team. This to put a mashup like this doesn't make sense. They should have just said, "Hey, Andrade can't make it, so that means that Garza, you don't get your title shot. That's it. You're a tag team, and your tag team is incomplete. So whoever is next in line, which is a legit tag team, should take that spot, right? That's how it should go. You can't just find a replacement. But whatever. This is wrestling. Anything goes. So I just say Street Profits retain. What about you, Dana?
I don't have a problem with them not canceling the match and them bringing up in the new tag team. First of all, I really like Zelina, and she needs to do something because obviously they're not using her as a wrestler unless it's for a Royal Rumble.
She's good on the mic. That's why.
She's okay as a wrestler too. I mean, what do we have? Come on.
But that's the whole thing, and that's what I said earlier. It's like if you're good on the mic, and that's what the Alexa Bliss, they'll keep you around just for that. Because that's what they feel they need. It is entertainment. And not all wrestlers are great on the mic. They can work in the ring, but they're not great on the mic. So here it is. Yeah, she's okay in the ring, but she's better on the mic. So they say, you know what? We don't need you in the ring. We need you on the stick.
That's interpreted so wrong.
Yep, that's right. Don't worry. We'll fix it in post. So rewind. She's great on the mic.
That is very true. And I think that for what she was given, she adapted to very well. And she plays being a manager very well as well. A lot of wells.
A lot of wells.
But I will say this. I do like the Street Profits. They are over, very much so. I don't know in which the order everything was taped.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows nothing. But if this was to be chronological, um, I don't see the Street Profits winning just because of that bump, but I don't think it was chronological. So therefore, I do see the Street Profits retaining, but we don't know exactly what's going on with Montez because that looked very nasty. But it doesn't have to be nasty; it just really looked that way. Um, but I do see them winning just because of the fact that they're so over. They kind of remind me of the New Day in that sense because of the whole personality that they have and again how over they are. So I'm going with them. And the other people, they're very new right now. They didn't even have a chance to fully form that kind of chemistry and for us to get to know them. And
See, and that's why
I
I'm surprised they kept them in this match. They could have just put any other legit tag team that's on the roster in here.
this is why I don't mind this because we've been saying for so long, you've bought 500 people. Why don't you actually start using your talent that you don't, you didn't, that's not the same 8 people that we see all the time. So I don't mind them using these new guys and we don't really know anything about them. The thing is that we just need to get them to be built up. So I appreciate them getting this WrestleMania moment because this was not supposed to happen at all. And they could have easily given it to somebody that's already established. But they're finally listening to us. It took a situation for that to happen, but they're finally listening to us. And I don't fault them for that. I cheer them for that. But they're not going to win.
No, they're not going to win. All right. What about you, Ricky? What do you think with this?
So, well, Dana will say that Street Profits are over. I'll say that I am over the Street Profits.
Nice.
I feel like they were just too overexposed as far as like the backstage segments and everything. Like I totally dug them in NXT and all that, but when we started seeing them on Raw and seeing all the segments that they had, I just thought it was like very cringe. So by the time it got to the point where they were like having matches, I've already like tuned them out. You know, that having been said, Garza and Theory, while they're great individual talents, they're a thrown together tag team, and it doesn't seem like proper that they would dethrone the Street Profits at WrestleMania for the tag belts, considering again that this is all thrown together. And you know, the Street Profits themselves, you know, yes, they're popular and they're a good team together.
They were also from Beyond Wrestling. They were also in that other promotion.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just like the Street Profits need to be rewarded for the work that they've done leading up to WrestleMania. So I see them retaining.
All right. Yeah. Rich, what about you?
Yeah, Street Profits are going to retain. That's all I got to say. I'm not really a fan of the dancing either. I don't know why all of the wrestlers of color have to dance. You know, I don't know what that's all about. But yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's what pisses me off. The
only exception is if you're big and muscular like Bobby Lashley. But then you get a cuck gimmick thing going on, and this is a whole different other thing. But like Street Profits, like this match will probably be my bathroom break because, like, again, I'm not that interested in the match, and I expect Street Profits to retain. But yeah.
All right. So now the next match. Now this one is. This one might have an asterisk next to it because there's all kinds of issues. We don't know how this is going about, but this is the one where it's Miz, John Morrison. This is the SmackDown Tag Team titles. John Morrison, Miz versus the New Day versus the Usos. Now, for those not keeping track on the dirt sheets and all the happenings, the Miz confirmed that he was sick. Getting sick, right? We don't know what kind of sick, but he was sick, right? So he's sick. He doesn't feel well. He's not in it. So we don't know if that was before the taping or if it's after the taping. We also don't know. There was talks that there was only going to be one representative from each tag team in this match. So it's still going to be a triple threat, but it was just going to be like, let's say, John Morrison versus one version of the one person from Usos and from the New Day. Who knows? But we do know that this was still going to be a tag team title match. So this, who knows? Who knows how this whole thing is going to pan out? I'm curious to see this match just to find out. Is this before or after? Because the Usos were very vocal on social media that they were upset. And some people saying, well, why are they upset? Are they upset because the match didn't happen? Or are they upset that the match took place? And then they find out the news about The Miz. And they're like, did he know beforehand? And could he have put the rest in harm's way? You know what I mean? We don't know why they're so upset. But whatever. This is going to be an interesting match just to watch. And regardless, it was going to be a quality match. All these guys are a great in-ring performance. They're all high flyers. Everybody's going to be flipping and flopping all over the place. It's going to be a fun match. But now I'm just curious to see how they go about with this match. Either way, I had seen Miz and John Morrison retaining the titles. They just got put back together. Morrison just got back into WWE. And I just see it. I don't see them dropping it. It just doesn't make sense. New Day has had the title belts, 7 times? Right? They've been tag team champs for 6-7 times. The Usos also have constantly hit. No, we need something new. We need something new. Sort of like what Dana was saying. It's like, fresh faces. There should be some fresh faces here. There really is no fresh face. There should be another tag team in here that is new. And that's not the case. And I'm not counting John Morrison because he's just a returning cast member. So, well, regardless, I would say John Morrison, Miz, they retain. All right. So, what about you, Rich? With all going on, what do you think is going to happen in this match?
I agree. John Morrison and Miz should retain. I think Heavy Machinery is the team that should have gotten this opportunity and should have taken these belts off of them.
Yeah.
But obviously, they got to finish this storyline with Otis and Dolph Ziggler. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I will say this, and then you can go to someone else. I got respect for the New Day, and I got respect for the Usos, but I am tired of seeing these two same teams still competing against each other. I mean, there are other teams they have on SmackDown, so there's no excuse. But they have to actually give them opportunities to see what they can do in the ring, aside from going back to what you already know works.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah. That's true. What about you, Dana? What do you think is going to happen in this one?
Okay, so like this whole thing, as you guys were saying, I am equally tired of of New Day and Usos. I really want someone, I don't care who, to break up and to completely throw this match into a disarray. For those who, as you said before, this was originally supposed to be with The Miz. But The Miz ended up showing up to work, and he was sick. And everyone was angry because this is also when Roman Reigns was in the building. And the Usos was upset because Roman Reigns, as we already know, is compromised. And this was kind of the domino effect that also resulted in Daniel Bryan leaving. In regards to this match, as I said before, I don't care who breaks up, but someone needs to break up. And also John Morrison and the guy that he's paired with, it's just him, right?
It's just what it looks like. I mean, if The Miz is not there, it's just going to be John Morrison. But that's why everybody was saying, well, maybe it's just going to be a one representative of each tag team.
Then if they are doing part live and part taped, I can easily see someone else coming in to substitute. If not, then I can still see John Morrison.
See, but that gets complicated because they're the champs. So if you have someone substitute, you're not really going against the champ. So then you can't put the belt on the line.
Does this WrestleMania really matter?
I don't know. They're trying to make it special. I'm just trying to save it. That's
Like,
it. I'm just saying, it just makes more sense if that's the case. If he can't compete and it wasn't taped, then just make it a triple threat, one representative, and then you'll have the New Day and Usos in the back saying, "All right, who wants to represent us in this match?" But then again, from what I'm understanding, they don't really want to draw attention to what's going on in the world. You know, they don't want to. They don't want to break the story. They don't want to. They want to keep it within the bubble, so they may not mention that at all. I don't know.
then fine.
So what do you think? You think they're going to keep it? You think?
Then I can see John Morrison, Jimmy, or Jay,
Yeah.
whichever one. But I do kind of feel that the way how everything is reacting, that maybe the Usos, just because of how everything ended up being, the Usos end up winning. Just because of how everything is. At this moment, I do feel that John Morrison does need to retain. Here's another thing that I don't fully understand. John Morrison came back to zero, like literally zero reaction. And I don't understand why there's no reaction for his return.
They didn't plan it right. Because originally, if you saw that special, he did a special on a network. He's the one that reached out to WWE about coming back. And they said, yeah, we'll take you back. So I think that's a part of it, because whenever they're trying to court someone to come back, that's when they roll out the red carpet and they make a big to-do about it. But the fact that he wanted to come back, it was like, okay, all right, you're still a name, you've been active, you're still in great shape. All right, so we don't really have anything for you, but we could do something with you were with The Miz for a while, right? You had a all right, we'll do that. Because he said originally he was supposed to go to NXT. And that was the plan, that he was going to go to NXT and he was going to be one of the big names to help, because NXT is now on USA Network and that whole thing. But then when they started trying to ease him back into the organization, they put him on SmackDown just to build the hype that he was coming back. And then he reunited with The Miz. And then The Miz, he does have some pull in the back and some saying, says, hey, what if we did something? What if we brought back our tag team that we had? And they were like, sure. And he was cool with it, and there we go. Now it's a tag team. And this is stuff that he discussed on his special on the network. That's how that whole thing came about. That was not originally the plan. So I think it's one of those situations where it's like, hey, you want to come back? Okay, we don't really have anything written out for you, but since you already have a previous history and a partnership with The Miz, and we like The Miz, and he's cool with this, all right, we're going to do a tag team thing, and we'll build you up that way. We'll put the title. The title is meant to put a spotlight. Now everybody gets to see you in action. He's learned a bunch of new moves from his time over in Mexico and in Lucha Underground, Impact. He's busy. He's been busy. So he's entertaining. I enjoy watching Morrison. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, he should still be able to retain if it's just him in this match. But what about you, Ricky? What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense to have Morrison retain. We've already seen the New Day and the Usos win the belts a whole bunch of times. I mean, the only thing I don't think we're going to see New Day win it at all. I think if there was any chance, maybe the Usos, because I can't recall the last time the Usos have had a WrestleMania moment. Otherwise, I would say it just makes more sense to have Miz and Morrison retain. And maybe that could be part of also why the Usos were angry, that on top of Miz showing up sick and, being in a danger to Roman, it's just that the match didn't turn out the way they wanted because it's not a real tag match. Who knows? But I'm going to say, Morrison comes out with the victory.
All right. And Rich, you already said your piece, right? I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. All right.
Yeah, so Miz Morrison.
Yep, you said the Miz Morrison. All right. So the next one, man, this one, I don't know. For me, I'm just not invested in the storyline, I guess. It just doesn't do anything. They're both great competitors, but it's Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, single match. I feel it's just going to be full of interference. Authors of Pain and Buddy Murphy just Murphy, right? They dropped the Buddy part. I just feel it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be a 3 versus 1 situation unless somebody else comes to help. But then again, I see Kevin Owens winning this match. Something big is going to happen because from what all the reports are, Seth Rollins is taking time off. Same goes for his fiance, the man, Becky Lynch. So I see Kevin Owens winning this. Plus, it's Kevin Owens. He's been a company man for a while. Let him get his Mania moment. Seth Rollins has had his Mania moment. So here we go. It'll probably be a solid match, but I feel with all the interference, unless the ref does one of those where it's like everybody gets sent to the back, none of the shenanigans, then we can just get a straight one-on-one type match. But from what I understand, it's listed as just a singles match, so there's no other stipulation on this. So I don't know, but I want Kevin Owens to win. I think it'll be a solid match if they try to limit the outside interference and don't make it one of those type of engagements. So I don't know, Dana, what about you? What do you think is going to happen in this?
Everything is just a hot mess. But in regards to this, I don't really see Seth Rollins winning. As you said previously, he wants to go and get married. Which
is that the reason they're going to go get married?
That's the
No, I'm just saying you could be engaged for a while, and so I thought they were just taking time off. If they're going to go and tie the knot.
The rumor is they want to go. Well, remember, they're engaged. They had the stage photos. It was like, oh my God, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's been the rumor, is that they wanted to go and get married, and that's why they're leaving. It just seems like everyone wants to leave all at once.
Well, I mean, it just seems like the timing is right, don't you think? I mean, it's like with the stuff going on in the world, it was like, you know what? I do have some build-up leave time, so, it just... But we've been hearing this before all the craziness happened. Like, that's the other thing. This seems like this was planned. Because I remember hearing talks of them both going to take a leave maybe 2 months ago. They were talking about that, so this is probably one of those like, hey, we already put in our notice. We got our vacation time saved. We're on our way out. And this is something they've been granting. We saw it happen with Finn Balor.
Yeah, that was a one.
Yeah, then again, he did get thrown to NXT right after, but he was cool with that too. So
he wanted that. Smile came back.
Yeah.
But
Because yeah. So, what do you see, Kevin Owens?
I see Kevin Owens winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
Yeah. If anybody's watching, we'll watch this just for the quality of the match. They're great performers, regardless of Seth's crazy rants online and stuff. You got to look past that. You have to look past that. You got to remember the days of when there was no social media and all you knew about these performers was what you saw on camera. All we knew about Bill Cosby was he loved pudding and he was a great dad. You have to look past all the other stuff because this is what we're judging them on. This is what we're watching. So Seth Rollins, whatever, but he's a great in-ring performer, the character. So this should be a quality match. So what about you, Richard? What do you think?
Yeah, Kevin Owens is definitely going to win, and I have to agree that, in my personal opinion, there should have been some type of stipulation or gimmick with this match because this story has been going on for a while. This is the whole reason that Seth Rollins turned heel, with the influence of Kevin Owens and all of the bad decisions that Seth Rollins was making up until that point. So it feels like this match should have been more than just a singles match. But regardless of that, yeah, Kevin Owens is definitely going to win.
What about you, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm with everyone. I think it's going to be Kevin Owens winning. And if you think about it, it's interesting that they went on about the two having their, comparing their WrestleManias. And Seth Rollins has won at every WrestleMania he's competed at so far, if I'm not mistaken.
They did a promo thing on it, yeah.
Yeah, this will be the first one that he doesn't, if our prediction turns out to be correct. So I'm going to say Kevin Owens because this will be the blow off to that, this program that's really been built up since Survivor Series, or the Raw after Survivor Series when the heel turn happened. So it's got to be KO.
Yeah. And if I was just to do some crazy fantasy booking, which will never happen, but these are things that I envision in my mind. if Seth Rollins does win and he grabs the mic and starts talking to the camera about how great he is and that he's always won all these matches, the lights go out, they turn back on. Will Ospreay's in the ring and just whoops his ass. And he's like, this is for all the shit you said. Now I'm getting my payday. Look at my bank account. The lights go out. That's it. But that's not happening. That's in my fantasy land. So
that's if you'd be allowed to fly out of England, which...
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But then it's under my idea that everything we see on these guys and everything they say online is a work. Nothing's real. But that's not the case. All right, so the next one. This is, I don't know, night 1, night 2. Maybe this might be night 1. I'm thinking night 1 main event. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match, a.k.a. Graveyard? Cemetery, right? That's what I'm assuming. They're actually going to be on location, I think, for this one. I don't think they're going to go and put a pile of dirt, and what they did with Undertaker versus Mankind, the Buried Alive match, where they set that up in the arena. So I'm assuming this is on location somewhere. This is most likely already taped. Undertaker, obviously, right? That's it. I mean, I can't even argue this. I can't see any way that AJ wins this. It just, everything points, especially after that promo. That Undertaker promo. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. I don't know if it's the writing. It's also definitely the delivery. But that promo, it's like, that was enough for me. If I've never seen any match or anything from The Undertaker, and I'm like tuning in for the first time, and I see this guy in the silhouette thing in the shadows and a tutu, and the promo that he shot on AJ Styles, and a lot of that, man, that raises eyebrows and shit that I didn't even think about, like saying, hey, you showed up here when The Rock was gone, when Austin was gone, when Edge was gone. I'm the last of that crew. You know what I mean? You knew you couldn't hang then. Now you think you can hang? Now you coming after me? Sort of like saying, and even he said, he was like, I know my best days are past me when it comes to matches, but I can still whoop your ass. And it's like, oh, okay. So it definitely pulls back the curtain on all of that. And it's great. It was great. I loved it. And it sold me on it because I got to say, when Undertaker came back with his American Badass or whatever variant of that gimmick, I wasn't thrilled about it. I was like, don't bring back roll. He'll probably have a different song now, but it just, I don't know. It put a bad taste in my mouth because I was not fond of that gimmick. I respect the fact he has to move things on. He has to change things up. It happens. You get stale. You get bored of it. And I honestly thought that the Undertaker gimmick itself was dead years ago. Was it like 2 Manias ago when Undertaker put the hat and the gloves and everything in the ring and left? Remember when he left that in the ring?
That was in Orlando 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 3 years. I thought when that happened that was him saying goodbye. Not just as a wrestler, but I thought just the gimmick. I thought that was like, hey, I'm done with him. That's it. Undertaker is dead. But he just kept bringing it back, whether it was Vince's idea. It was like, hey, we make a lot of money with it or whatever. But, hey, he's coming back. He's still going to perform. And if it's a Boneyard match, which is funny that AJ would select that, you would think it would be Undertaker selecting something like this. I see Undertaker definitely winning this. There most likely will be interference from the club. They're probably all going to go into a coffin or something or a ditch or whatever that they're going to be in, because there's definitely going to be some kind of gimmick going on. Now, the Boneyard match, I'm wondering, because Richard, we played WWE 2K20, and remember the Fiend? Yeah, we played that, but over for the Koalition side. But I mean, that match that he has, that gimmick match, is that a Boneyard match? What was that called? Remember where it's like it looks like a cemetery, but was it called a Boneyard match? I don't remember.
It wasn't called that. It's called something else, but I don't really remember what that was.
They weren't trying to tie those together. Like, hey, this is a match that's in the game, and we're bringing the match from the game into the real world. I thought maybe that's where they came up with that instead of just calling it, a cemetery match. But then again, when you think of cemetery, you think there's going to be other bodies there, and you got to pay respect. You don't want to be fighting around and knocking over tombstones of other people. So. I don't know. Either way, Undertaker definitely has to win this. Right? I see him winning. So, what about you, Rich, since I brought you into this? What do you think? Who's going to win this?
Yeah, it's Undertaker. Hands down. That's all I got to say.
There we go. All right. Ricky, what about you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to go with the Undertaker on this. Rich and I were actually talking about this on Raw that I wasn't that interested in this match until I saw Undertaker's promo. I was like, damn.
Yep.
That's a legend right there. He's just like I'm just going to whip your ass. Like, I'm going to make you famous. That kind of stuff. Like, it's I'm telling you, like the promo is like, it's a lost art in a way. And I felt like this has allowed people like Undertaker and Edge and Orton to put some really great promos out there because they don't have to worry about how are the audience going to react to it. They just look into the camera as it was before in the old days.
That's how they did it.
Into the camera and talking. Yep.
That's it.
And those were the best. And so it's like that's what I love to see. And now it's like I'm actually interested in seeing how this match is going to unfold. And like you said, the OC is going to get involved, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Undertaker is going to come out on top.
I remember those old days with Paul Bearer, and you see Undertaker in the background. Paul Bearer is doing the shoe promo, and you see Undertaker in the back shaving up a coffin. Remember, he's like, oh, my Undertaker's getting ready for you. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I miss those days. All right, so we're all, Dana, I think you agree. Undertaker's winning this, right?
Oh, me? I get to, no. Okay, so first of all, couple things. No. No. Here's a couple things that I'm kind of mad at. And I'm mad at how this is advertised. And I say this because when Undertaker does his promos, he is American Badass Undertaker. But yet, when you see the advertisement, he is Stuntman Undertaker.
Did you hear the guys that do the advertisement? They're working from home, and no one has the computers or the images that have been updated, so they can't do it. They can't.
So he can't put on a hat and be like,
they can't do it. They can't do it. No.
He can't put on a hat.
Nope. Well, no. We're assuming also he's American Badass. He hasn't said that. This might still be the Undertaker, just with a new look.
A leather jacket on.
This might be the new look. This is what I'm saying.
Undertaker doesn't wear a leather jacket. Where was his hat? He had the bandana on.
That's it, but we don't know. They still haven't referred to him as the American Badass, is what I'm saying.
He had the motorcycle, the bandana, and the jacket.
Well, this is just Undertaker. This is him. This is the way, Mark rolls. So
Mark rolls as the American Badass, not rest in peace.
But I think that the badass gimmick is dead. The name, is dead.
Remember when everyone thought that he was going to bring back the American Badass gimmick at WrestleMania 2 years ago in New Orleans when he was supposed to fight John Cena, and he came back as old school Undertaker instead? That was like an interesting twist.
But then he's just Universal Undertaker. Okay, fine.
Who knows? They might throw a whole curve, and when he comes out, it's AJ Styles versus Bart Calloway. And then he just pulls up on his bike. I'm here just to kick your ass.
I don't really
this is just Mark Calloway versus Alan Jones.
Exactly, because he said it. Hey, Alan Jones. This is they're definitely breaking kayfabe with this whole thing, which is odd. We've never seen this for Undertaker. Usually, if anything, Undertaker was the last holdout, right? Because he even said they never allowed him to do interviews. They never allowed him to do side appearances on podcasts or televised interviews. No. That was a no-no. They still want to keep the mystique with him. But hey, he's on social media now, so he already pulled that curtain back.
with apologizing to Jericho of
Yeah,
all
yeah. He
things.
apologized because he even said he heard what was it, the ass clown or something like that.
Yeah.
He said he heard it somewhere. He just didn't recall where he heard it from. So, but then even Jericho said it's like whatever Undertaker says, he's allowed to say it. He's the Undertaker. So.
So also another thing, just so we're clear, AJ Styles recently went on somebody's stream and he defined what a boneyard match is. Okay? So he says, and I quote, "So let me make myself clear on the boneyard match. A boneyard match means anything can happen. It's in a graveyard and there will be a grave. Does that kind of put it into perspective? There will be a hole." So there you go.
All right, you know what I want now? Oh, here goes another fantasy booking.
And the reason why it's called a boneyard match and not the graveyard match at the cemetery is because it will stir up some bad emotions as to
Perfect.
what's
Perfect. Now that you
so.
said that, now I have these other images popping up in my head.
So
Since this is
we
all
can
pre-recorded,
yes, and there can be a casket involved, but I don't know how much of that we will get because of certain things. But it's an anything goes graveyard match.
here we
It won't
go.
be called a casket. It'll be called a wooden container.
Wooden container. All right, you ready for this one? You ready for my fantasy booking? And this is it. This would be the moment. This would be the match of the entire Mania, and this could save it if this happens. Which is, it's possible it could happen because it is taped. While they're battling it out in the cemetery, and the club get involved, and he's got all these issues. You see a hand start coming out of one of the graves, and it's Mankind. And he comes out with the mask, and he starts fighting and doing the whole thing, because there's a gimmick from the grave. He's dead. And then another hand comes out from another grave. It's Sting. And he comes out, and he helps. And then there you go. They defeat AJ Styles and the club. And Undertaker stands tall with Sting and Mankind, and we all get that moment that we wanted.
That's
Uh,
insane.
I don't know who wanted that moment. I would have much rather have seen Sting versus Undertaker.
We're not going to have that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this would be at least to give that moment that they can get involved. They can't have matches. We definitely know, at least for Sting, he's not ready to do a match, and he even said it's a good body. He could push it for the millions, of course, but it's not going to happen. But hey, everybody misses Sting. They would love to see him, and this will be a way to see him. And that gimmick is pretty much dead. It's in the cemetery, and Mankind is definitely dead. That gimmick is definitely dead. The old Mankind. It's not like corporate Mankind. It's not like Cactus Jack. We would see the old outfit and the mask and everything. I think that would be fun. It would be unexpected, but hey, it's in a cemetery. Bodies are coming up from the past, the grave, and there you go. That would be fun.
That is actually so brilliant.
You see, dude, that would be awesome. I'd love to see that because no one would see that
WWE
coming.
hire this man.
That I would love that. I would definitely love that. That would be the moment everybody would talk about after the fact. They'd be like, oh, did you see that? Yes. Because think about it. They're fighting, they're beating up on Undertaker. Undertaker's there, and all of a sudden you see in the background, you see a hand ripping out of one of the graves. Like, what is that? And you hear, and you see the hand, and you can see the mandibles, on his hand. It's like, oh my god, what is happening? And then they do like a whole chase scene, and then one of the guys falls down, and then there's another one, and it starts coming up from the grave, and sure enough, you see his face, and from the hole in the dirt, and you can see one eye in the face paint, and it's Sting. That'd be awesome. I'd love it. I'd love it. And they said, and they were going to not just film on location, but they were going to add some Hollywood feel to it for some of these matches. So, because they have time now. Now they don't have to focus on, well, we can't do too much outside because people pay to be inside. Well, no one's inside. So, and they have time to fill because of that. So they don't have to worry about it. So, there goes that.
There's only one thing, though.
What?
Why is Sting involved? Because he never fought Sting, so he wouldn't be buried.
That's for the fans. He's gone. The character is gone. We don't know. The last we saw of him, he lost at Mania. So that's what I'm saying. It's like they don't know. He's gone. So this will be resurrected. Yeah, it's like these are gimmicks that are dead, that are no longer around. That Sting gimmick, the paint that he'll wear would be what he brought it to WWE. And then Mankind, we know that gimmick is definitely dead. He's never coming back. So this would be the returning of these old gimmicks. But these are all connections, at least for Mankind. And then with the Sting, that was one. That's for the fans that always wanted that moment, whether they were going to battle against each other or if they were going to tag together. We would get that moment of them at least together in gimmick on screen.
But with that theory and knowing that they can do stuff with production, we would have to get the old Undertaker since he lost his streak.
What do you mean the old Undertaker? No, they're here just to save him now in his time of need.
No, Undertaker would have to die because his streak died.
No.
Guys, in the interest of time, we should probably move to the next match.
Yeah, let's move on. There goes that. All right, so the next one.
I'm going to give that a round of applause. Thank you.
There we go.
Continue.
The next one, John Cena versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and a Firefly Funhouse match. Is this going to be another Randy Orton type of House of Horrors match? Where they battled out in an abandoned house and he tipped over a fridge onto Bray Wyatt? Is it going to be one of those? Or
What was
that, Ricky?
I'm sorry, I was saying that was terrible. That I thought, I was hoping that they were going to do it was going to be something like out of the oh my goodness, like the compound, but the Hardy compound, but it that ends up being a disappointment. That whole thing, Bray versus Orton. I don't think they'll have that with Fiend versus Cena, but you're gonna get special effects, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely John Cena is going to show up somewhere because he has to show up to the Funhouse. It's not going to be at his house. So we're going to see a similar type of situation where Randy Orton just showed up. Remember, he's like, well, this is the address. And he walks up to the house and, the party starts. So it's going to be something like that. I don't know. Man, John Cena doesn't need to win this. But The Fiend, if he wins this, what does he get out of it? It doesn't matter. This is one of those matches this is a Mania match. And what I mean is where there's always that match that's just done for the fanfare. And it's like, oh, imagine if these two. Okay, it doesn't matter. We know John Cena he's busy in Hollywood and doing his own thing. And so him going over doesn't do anything. And if The Fiend beats him, it's like, okay, well, you beat not even a part-timer. You beat somebody who was a big part of WWE in the past and is not. So I just say The Fiend is going to win this one. Why not? It's his gimmick match. So he wins. I don't know. So Ricky, since you were talking, what do you think? You think the Fiend is just going to win this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Bray Wyatt should have won. It was at WrestleMania 30, I believe, was the match between him and Cena. I felt like they dropped the ball there, and so this is a good chance for them to make good on that. 6 years later, and now that Bray Wyatt's got the Fiend gimmick going. And yes, this is Funhouse, so it's like home field advantage for Bray Wyatt, the same way that a casket match is like an advantage for the Undertaker. I think it's going to be the Fiend going to come out on top.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember if Bray Wyatt had much say in that House of Horrors, but I know he definitely had this whole thing planned out for a while. Like this is one of his ideas. So if that's the case, and it's not just like, oh, Vince saying, hey, we're going to have this Firefly Funhouse match. If Bray Wyatt does have something planned, and he's creative, this should be fun. This should be entertaining. So let's just hope it all pans out that way. What about you, Richard? What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, the Fiend wins, and this victory will be used to remind people and build him up for whenever he faces Roman Reigns, because that match is definitely going to happen at some point in time again. But yeah, Bray Wyatt wins.
Bray Wyatt wins. I see this also as a night 2 match. I don't know why. I think this will be a Sunday match. I don't think this will be a night 1 match. What about you, Dana? What do you think?
I so wish with all of my heart that they are going to have the webcams and just stream everyone's reactions live because this is going to be a hot mess. For the photos that were released, um, that's rumored to be what the set looks like. It's an old rundown cabin that reminds you of when they did the House of Horrors. I don't like this. I don't like the concept of it. It didn't work the first time. I don't think it's going to work the second time. And that one had special effects and that was filmed on location and it was terrible. And this, I just don't see it working. I want to be proven wrong. Um, as you said previously, their previous match that they had was really good in the sense that it had the ability to tell a great story. And even if John Cena never turned heel, he still had that ability of like, let me kind of fight it off. And that just never paid off and it never went anywhere. As a result, I really don't feel anything for this match. I don't really see a purpose of John Cena winning. Um, and I don't really see what happens next if Bray Wyatt loses. He just moves on to the next person. It doesn't really have much substance to me. And as we saw before, the original Firehouse, the Funhouse thing burned down. And no one seemed to acknowledge that. It was like, yeah, it burnt down. And then the next day it was just back up again. So I don't see this going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. So hopefully they. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that Bray Wyatt had some other ideas, and especially for his whole gimmick and everything that he wants to do with the Fiend character. So hopefully some of that carries over into this gimmick, because I think this is one, like you said, with the Undertaker, with his Buried Alive match and all that. I think this is what he wants to keep as his gimmick. That whenever he's having a big feud, the end result is meet me at the Funhouse. So
yeah.
So we'll see. The next one is for the women's Raw the singles championship. It's Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. And as we talked about earlier with her fiancé, Seth Rollins, they're going to take some time off. But either way, this has been a long title reign for Becky. She's had this for a long time. And Shayna is up and coming. We saw what happened at the Elimination Chamber. What I predicted, she was going to smash everybody. She was going to be the Brock of the women's division. And that's the way they're pushing her. She destroyed everybody in there. It was quick. So they had to do that. They want to make her look devastating. So for that, I actually think this might not be that long of a match. She might destroy Becky. I could see this as something like that. Just destroy her. That way it explains why Becky leaves for a while. She needs to regroup. Mentally she's not there. Blah, blah, blah. That's what they can do. And then when she's ready, she can come back. Sort of like how they did everything with Ronda. Where Ronda left right after Mania. And that was it. She was gone. My original plan was that she was going to come back. And that didn't happen. So now we have Shayna. But it's fine. Shayna's awesome. I love Shayna. Shayna has developed into a very quality-filled wrestler, if that's even a way of describing her. She's just everything. She's great at mixed martial arts, as you know. She's one of she comes from not just UFC, but just from mixed martial arts. She's been doing it for years, and she made that transition into pro wrestling seamless. Everything seems to have worked out fine. She can talk on the mic. She knows how to sell, because that's always an issue with a lot of these people that cross over. They're not used to that. And she's great at selling. She makes everything look believable, and that's awesome. She's just all-around great performer. I'm happy everything is working out for her. And I think she's going to win this, and it's going to be a squash match. It's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be a long one, and that's just going to prove that she's devastating. And it's going to be one of those, like, I'll break you moments. And that's it. So what about you, Richard? What do you think is going to happen?
I also say Shayna Baszler. However, I do not think this is going to be a quick match because we've already seen them have the back and forth with the attacks, so on and so forth. And you saw how quick she choked out Becky on the last Raw that we saw, how she dominated Becky. Becky has to get some offense in. She can't just get squashed because, they have to make it look as convincing that she's going to put up a fight. But she's definitely going to lose this match. I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying that. So Shayna Baszler's going to win.
Shayna. All right. Ricky, what about you?
It's really strange because I'm not sure if it was on the last WrestleCast we had or what, but like I seemed pretty convinced back then that Becky was going to retain at WrestleMania, but I don't think so anymore. I can see, like, I thought the whole idea was like, yeah, they'll have Shayna win at Elimination Chamber to make her seem like a huge threat, to just make Becky's win at WrestleMania even more incredible. But really thinking back on it, Becky's had the belt that she has right now. She's had it since last WrestleMania. You know, it's going to be like a full year now, and it's time to give the belt to someone else. And Shayna's been built up as a legit threat, you know, and it just makes all the sense in the world that she's the one to take down the man. And so that's how I think it's going to turn out. I think it'll be a solid match. You know, I don't think it'll be a squash, but Becky will lose valiantly to Shayna Baszler, your new women's champion.
What about you, Dana? You see it the same way?
Here's the thing. I think Shayna right now really needs it. I'm tired of Becky at the moment. She's been here and she's kind of been doing the same gimmick for over a year now. I do appreciate her rise and climb, but I'm tired and bored of it. Yeah. And she needs to be repackaged as something else, and she needs something else to do. So I don't mind if Shayna wins, and I need that truck, that ugly truck that she keeps driving around in, to be involved.
So that truck, I have a theory that was going to be the truck that she came out to at WrestleMania.
That's what everybody was saying. Yeah. That was going to be her entrance as she drives in with that truck. Yeah.
Or they can run over with it, and then that's the end.
I think the thing with me with the whole Becky, she's great with the promos and she knows how to sell this new character, this new form of her. But it's the head nod that bothers me. She does this bouncing with her head. She tilts it to the side and she bounces it. And it's just, I can't. It's something, I don't know. It's a weird tick thing for me. Every time I see it, I have to fast forward. I can't watch it. It makes me uncomfortable. All right. The next one. And this one, I don't know if you guys know. Who's replacing Roman Reigns? Has it fully been confirmed, like, officially?
I don't know.
Because I heard it was Braun Strowman that was filling
That's what I've heard. I've heard it was Braun Strowman, yeah.
Because everywhere that I look, it still shows Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. And I know that this match has not been scrapped. It's still happening. Goldberg is still on the card. He still has a match. But it's definitely not going to be Roman. I heard it was going to be Braun. And apparently there was like some images backstage or whatever that sort of shows that that discussion was made. And you see Braun embracing Roman and people saying, oh, yeah, they work things out. And he said, hey, I'm going to take your spot. I'm like, yeah, that's if they have say. They don't have say. Vince has the final say. So it all depends if Vince wants to go down that road. I don't know.
It's Braun.
It is Braun?
It's Braun.
Okay. So if Braun wins this, which most likely he will, because I don't think the plan was to go forward with Goldberg as the champ long term. Right? He was supposed to be a transitional champ. Takes it from one, gives it to the other. That's it. Case closed.
I just will make a comment. Obviously, I'm not the first one to give my picks, but I just want to say this. I want Goldberg to retain so I can see this Roman Reigns match, because now you had this whole thing with the trash talk back and forth. It will be stupid of them to just say, okay, no, let's give it to Braun Strowman and let's have Braun go against Roman whenever Reigns decides everything is calmed down, he wants to get back into action. I feel like now that you have introduced the idea of Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, you have to deliver that at some way or another. So I say Goldberg retains, and that match with Reigns happens at SummerSlam.
So you could see Goldberg pulling the jackhammer on Braun?
Oh, well, hey, maybe he'll do a spear or something.
Gonna have to do a whole lot of spears. Whole lot of spears. But, all right, so that's interesting. So you see Goldberg keeping this. And then, all right. What about you, Dana? You see that? You see Goldberg retaining here?
Okay, so really quickly, Triple H did say on ESPN that they're going to find a really unique way to get Roman out of the match, and that it'll work with the storyline. So we're going to get that match later on, and he's still going to wrestle him. So because of that, I do see that
Oh,
Berg will retain.
okay. All right. But did he confirm Braun is his opponent?
It's not been confirmed, but it's all purposes is him.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense because he's not on this card, and you would think they would put him on the card because I mean he's Braun. They're not doing
They're still advertising Roman's match on ESPN. What yesterday, Tuesday?
Interesting. Unless it was already taped.
Yeah, but the match itself wasn't taped.
It wasn't taped. All right. So that's confirmed. It wasn't taped. All right.
When he pulled out because of the whole thing with Miz.
Okay. No, I thought the whole thing with Miz was that he was still there when it happened. So regardless if he was taping or not, he was in the building.
For his stuff to go off when Miz he was sick, and they found out he was about to wrestle sick, and he was in the building like everything was normal. And that's what it was like a huge backlash over the Miz. And Roman was like, peace.
Boy. All right, so either way, that should be interesting to see how they go about this. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a long match. Goldberg just doesn't do long matches. Right?
He can't. I don't ever think he ever could.
Well, he was.
Neither does Braun, for that matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's the thing with Goldberg. Yeah, he wasn't designed that way. That's not how he came up. He was the squasher, right? He just beat the shit out of everybody within under a minute or so. Spear here, spear there, jackhammer, it's over. So, yeah, he never really had to do a long match. I think the longest match he had was with Brock Lesnar when they did the rematch. Right? Remember that one? That was a semi-decent. That was a decent match now I think about it. All right, so speaking of Brock, we got Brock with the title versus Drew McIntyre. This should be fun.
Hold on.
Oh.
Before we get to that, I did want to make my prediction.
Oh, I thought you did.
I do. No. I just kind of chimed in on something. I think Goldberg will retain, but I have a theory as to what the tie-in might be that would introduce Braun. Do you remember who Goldberg took the belt off of?
What you mean last? What you mean the Universal title?
The Fiend?
Yes, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman go back. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a tie-in there, where it's like a Wyatt family thing, where Braun gets in to like get. I don't know like that. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because Braun's a babyface and Wyatt's a heel. So I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to have that kind of tie in there, but it sounds silly now saying it out loud. So, but I just think it makes more sense for Goldberg to win. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, what Dana said. Dana, where did you say that Triple H? He went on ESPN and he said they were going to do an interesting way.
Unique.
He said that
unique. So it's not going to be one of those where tonight's matches and filling in for Roman Reigns is blah blah blah. No. So then anything's possible. Ricky?
He said, I don't want to give away the ending of the movie before the movie takes place. Everybody just has to watch and see how it unfolds. It unfolds in a unique way that will be meaningful for everyone.
A unique way.
Stop laughing. No laughing.
That's really vague.
All right, so
Meaningful for everybody.
Real quick, my fantasy, Sting comes in and Sting gets involved and he wins the title. All right, there we go. So then, why not? Why not? Unique. No one saw the shit coming. All right, and I'm throwing Sting in every moment because he never had a quality match. He didn't even win a match when he returned to WWE when he first debuted, and his whole time in the franchise. Think about it. He didn't win at the promotion, not one single match, and that's not fair. He should have won at least something. All right, so the next one, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. This, I think, out of all the matches, we all pretty much thought this is it. This is his time. Drew's winning this one. The torch is being passed. Right? This is going to be a quality match. I don't think it's going to be a short match. I could see this going a good, 15, 20 minutes. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, close pinfalls, but at the end, Drew McIntyre is definitely going to be raising his hand up with the belt. So I predict Drew. What about you, Dana?
This match makes me really sad because Drew deserves a full crowd, but unfortunately, he's not going to get that. But he's going to still win, so yay!
Yeah. He's definitely going to win this one. Ricky, what about you?
Same thing you guys said. It's really unfortunate that he's not going to have the crowd to cheer him on in this, because I can imagine just how loud that would be. But I think he'll win. I think he'll be the new champion.
Richard?
Yes, great opinions all across the board. I, however, am going to disagree. I think that for him to win that belt, the crowd needs to be involved in that, because I think about the interactions he has had with the crowd leading up to when he made this full-fledged face turn. So, in my opinion, if I had to pick, I say Brock Lesnar retains, and there's a rematch at SummerSlam in Boston, shameless plug, with the crowd will be there, and that's when he'll win the title. But again, we'll see, because Vince is very high on him. Heyman is very high on him, so it could happen now. I just don't like the circumstances that they have him right now where there's no crowd. So we'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, I see a rematch, but I see a rematch for Brock trying to get the belt back from Drew.
That
Drew,
makes sense.
This is definitely going to happen. Drew, this is it. This is his time. We saw the reports before, and I think you could hear the audio during that Raw before all this craziness happened, where Drew gave the Claymore to Brock on the stage on the ramp, and he's laying there, and you can hear Brock telling him, pick up the belt, to pose with the belt. So then you see Drew, he reaches over and picks up the belt, and he stands over him. So the fact that so the fact that he's doing that, he's trying to groom him, and he obviously feels like that he's worthy to take the belt. He's like, you know what, you deserve it. You're a big dude. You're a nice guy backstage. From what people say, he's a nice guy, and he's been humbled. He was there when he was young, and he was given that torch by Vince when he really wasn't deserving of it, and he squandered that opportunity, and then he was let go. But it seemed to have made things better for him, because it worked out when he was in Impact, and he was able to grow as a wrestler and as a person. And we've seen this different version of him, and it's worked out. And I think everybody sees that, and it's fitting, so it makes sense. And he's over with the crowd, and that's also thanks to Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman was giving him more mic time. Says, you know what, just wing it. Just wing it with the crowd. And when the crowd starts saying one more Claymore, he's like, all right, I'll do it. Why not? And he's doing it. So it works out. So, yep, that's where it's there. And this is the main event, and it's listed as the number one, and I think it will be, because from what I'm hearing...
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, shit.
I hate to cut you off, but I have to say you were very disrespectful to the Bayley fans, Adam, because you skipped the women's
Did I skip that one?
Yeah.
I was just thinking of that too.
I thought I said that one. Oh man, that's right. It's the Bayley, Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks.
I was thinking, did they give that away on SmackDown
That's
or something?
right. That's right. I forgot about that. See, there's so many matches. There we go. All right, so let's jump to that one. That's
this
right.
will be a quick one anyway.
Yeah, that one. This is for the women's title match. This is a fatal 5-way. I was going to. I did see this because the first thing I said to myself was like, "Oh, Naomi's going to win." It's because it's in Florida. It's her hometown. She's coming back because of the whole thing that she had with her husband, and they had to take time off, or whatever. But it just made more sense that she would wind up winning this. But I don't know. And Lacey Evans is also in this. She's the fifth one. And the thing with Lacey Evans is that they tried to do a switcheroo with her. She went from straight up heel to just babyface overnight. They were like, no, you're babyface. We like you as babyface. Why? Her character doesn't fit as a babyface. No, now you're switching it on. Oh, she's a soldier. She's a mom. We knew that before, and she was still being a prick with everybody. So I don't see that working. At least for me, it doesn't work. I still see her as a heel. And I also feel she's kind of green in the ring. She's not on everyone else's level that's in this match. So Sasha Banks doesn't need the title. She really doesn't. And from what I understand, she is going to be taking time off also to promote that album that she's been working on. So she's going to be doing tours and stuff. And I think she actually wants to perform. So she wants to be a full artist. She's not going to pull a John Cena who just releases an album and then that's it. She actually wants to do like shows. So, and Tamina, I don't think Tamina's ever going to get anything. I mean, this is just out of respect that they put her in this match. But do we see her getting a title shot? Do we see her actually walking away with a belt? I don't think so. So Naomi for me. If not Bayley retaining, it's definitely Naomi. All right, so what about you, Rich, since you remembered this match?
Well, this is a tough one. I don't think Bayley is retaining this belt. So in my opinion, it's really between Vince's number one choice, Lacey Evans, and Sasha Banks. Because now they have introduced this whole thing with Sasha Banks and Bayley now having some tension.
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano. I'm tired of it. I don't need to see them feud again. It's not needed. We're going to see a lot of that in this. I'm sure there's going to be some close pinfalls, and then she's going to kick Sasha, or Sasha's going to kick Bayley, and then they're going to give that stare down. It's going to happen, but we don't need to see that again. We don't.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with Naomi winning the match. I really don't know which way they're going to take this, but I just know Tamina obviously is not winning a damn thing. She won the opportunity of being in the match. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly, and she most likely will be the person who gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Because that's how everybody stays strong. Because they didn't get pinned. It's not going to be Bayley. Bayley's definitely not going to get pinned in this. She's going to lose the belt because that's how she could argue. She's like, hey, you have the belt, whoever wins it, and you didn't pin me for it. So I'm going back for my title. So I don't see her doing that with Sasha Banks if Sasha wins it. No. If it wasn't for her recording career and all the stuff going on, then I could sort of see Sasha getting the belt, and then they go down that road again with Bayley versus Sasha. Which we've seen before, when Sasha had the belt before. But with Sasha wanting to go do other things for a while, and I don't see that happening. I definitely see Naomi, and like you said, hey, it could happen with Lacey too. For some reason, Vince really likes Lacey. The fact that she even got called up so quick from NXT is proof of that. Because she was green there, and she was even greener when she showed up. To the point that they just had her walking up and down the ramp, remember? They're like, we don't know what to do with you. Just put on some 1940s, 50s clothes and walk up and down the ramp. There you go. Look like a pinup. So, what about you, Dana?
I'm really... Wait, can you hear? No?
I hear you.
I'm really baffled. Yep, you can hear me. Okay, great. I'm really baffled by one thing as to why they would put Tamina in here instead of Nia Jax. Like, she still exists, from my understanding. She's still tweeting, so,
You think it could be a swerve? You think it's going to be one of those situations where Tamina's in the back on the ground, she got beat up, and they're like, what's happening? Oh, she can't make it, she got hurt, and then, Nia Jax comes in to fill in.
I would like that very much, so no knock to Tamina, but, like, where's Nia Jax? So I would like some type of interference with that. If this doesn't happen, then Naomi, I feel, is the one that's kind of the most deserving, and she really never she got her. Did she ever get her WrestleMania thing?
I don't know if it was WrestleMania, but she definitely won the belt. I think it was
Orlando.
Oh, okay. Well,
Orlando 3 years ago, because she had the belt and then was injured and had to relinquish it.
Yeah,
but she healed back up just in time to have a chance to win it back, and she did.
She needs another moment. Because that would be nice. But if not, I really do see Vince going the whole Lacey Evans thing. Because it's how she looks.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that she's a baby face now. So
yeah, so was a lot of other people. So was Ronda. Ronda really sucked.
Was Ronda a babyface? I guess she was seen. I didn't see. I always saw her.
She turned heel. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really see her as a babyface.
She was still really green.
Yeah, but she was a name. So Lacey Evans is, I don't know. Anything's possible with her because of the fact that they pushed her the way they have. So I can't throw anything out the window with this one. Yeah, I just prefer. So who do you prefer winning? If it was up to you, you're booking. I'm like, all right, Dana, who do you want to go over?
Naomi.
All right, Naomi. All right, so here's the main event now, right? And I think.
Hold on.
What?
All right.
Did I forget another match?
No. Well, I didn't get to pick.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's my fault because I keep interrupting without actually saying my pick. It was just adding commentary. But if I had the chance to book it myself, I would have Sasha win it. But since I don't, it's going to be Lacey Evans. And remember, she's kind of been like the push has been forced by Vince because again he likes the look and everything. And he doesn't have to worry about fan reaction because there's no fans there. So this is a perfect opportunity for him to throw the belt on her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So even if she gets the belt to crickets, it's by design. There's no one there. So I think it's going to be Lacey Evans. Like, I thought it was going to be Sasha Banks, but then you told me the whole thing about her, like, taking time off to possibly start the album and performing and all that. And it's like, okay, all right, it's going to be Lacey Evans. So I'm going with Lacey.
All right, Lacey Evans. It's possible. All right, now this one. And it turns out I think it will be the main event. I think they're going to go with this as the main event regardless, whether night 1 or night 2. And that's Rhea Ripley, the champion, NXT Women's Champion, versus Charlotte Flair. If you recall, Charlotte Flair won the Women's Royal Rumble, and she challenged Ripley for the title. So, Ripley, who was the NXT UK Women's Champion for a while, and then she went over to NXT US, and she did her thing there, and she's had some amazing matches, especially the War Games. That was a fun one. But with Ripley, this seems like a no-brainer also. Rhea Ripley, she's got the rocket on her back. She's just flying up. She's been destroying. She's been winning. She's had the amazing showing over at Survivor Series. Remember where she was helping out and they were down a person and she was just doing her thing. She's an amazing competitor. She's great in the ring. She has a great look. So I see her retaining. I don't see Charlotte winning this and then going to NXT and going backward in that way. I don't see that happening. So I think it's going to be a quality match. It's probably going to be a close match. But I definitely see Rhea Ripley retaining. What about you, Dana?
Well, one, I think it's insane. She's only 23. That's amazing.
I don't believe it. I think those numbers are fudged. I don't believe it.
Really? Okay. But yeah, as you were saying, it just really doesn't make any sense. And at this point, I think that Charlotte is just trolling everyone. So I really do want Rhea to win. And this match is going to be great either way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's why they did this. I think this was just to do the matchup. And they're like, we'll just say that she wants to go down there and take that belt. She doesn't really care about that belt. It's just a matchup. People want to see this matchup. This will be a fun one. So, there it is. We have that. All right, so what about you, Ricky? What do you think?
It's a little complicated. I'm kind of going back and forth on it right now because, it's Bianca's business with Charlotte done? Or do they still have a thing?
No, it's not done. And that was the thing. A lot of people were saying, well, this should be a triple threat. Belair should be in this match. And hey, maybe it is. I mean, anything's possible. We don't know. But as it stands right now, from all the cards that I've seen laid out, it's still a one-on-one match. She's not part of this. But no, that issue that they have, that's not over. That's not settled.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing that makes this a little complicated because, Charlotte might not be done with NXT. That's one thing. And you have to remember that this is Charlotte. The rules don't apply to her. That she's won pretty much every belt, many times over. She's won the Royal Rumble. She's had pretty much every accolade you can think of. She has won the women's belt in NXT back when it was the Divas. belt. She hasn't had the new version of it. So that would just be another thing. That having been said, I mean, like I feel like Rhea Ripley will retain, but there will be points in the match where you'll question that, where it'll be like Charlotte might actually win this. Like I think it'll be very, very close. And I'm almost tempted to pick Charlotte, but I just think that logic says that this is a chance to build a star with Rhea Ripley, and so I'll say Rhea retains.
All right, Richard.
Yep, Rhea Ripley, 100% retains. I think it is going to be a very well put together match, and I do think it will end cleanly. But I will not be surprised if at the end of that match you see Bianca Belair show up and attack both of them, because I think that triple threat could still happen, and it probably should happen since Charlotte attacked Bianca Belair after she beat her on NXT for no reason. That's why I say Bianca Belair needs to get some payback, either in the form of that match or against like have an all-out feud with Charlotte when she gets moved from NXT, if that happens. But I'm pretty sure that is going to happen at some point in time, because they have a lot of women on NXT now that they are trying to get you to pay attention to. So some people have to get moved at some point in time. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. We could see a lot of changes before this whole thing happens. We don't know. A lot of this stuff has been taped. They probably listened to some of the ideas that they had to be like, hey, well, we could finally go about doing this since it's going to be taped. And we could ease this in the back. We have more time because we're not focused too much on what's happening with the crowd and trying to entertain them. They could do a lot of backstage segments and longer backstage segments. So we could see some discussions in the back and all kinds of stuff. It's like, hey, maybe they do make this a triple threat. That would be entertaining. Just switch it up on the fly. But all right, so there it is, WrestleMania, the special WrestleMania 36 2-night event. Right? Was it too big for one night? That's what they're hyping it. So is it going to be good? Who knows? There are definitely going to be some entertaining matches. Kind of disappointing, no Ricochet on this at all, anywhere. That really upset me.
All right, they don't have the Andre Battle Royal happening.
No, I can't have all those guys in the
ring.
Right.
Social distancing.
Takeover. It's odd.
Social distancing.
Yeah. So there goes that.
Wow.
So anything is possible with the other matches, and hopefully it'll be fun to watch. I mean, it's still Mania. Some people don't like it, but I like the fact that a lot of this stuff is going to be taped in the back. I was a big fan of Lucha Underground and how they did it, so hopefully they pull that off. I don't mind if it looks like a movie. That's fine with me.
I'll mark if there's a Dario Cueto appearance.
Oh, man, there you go. That's fantasy booking right there. That'd be awesome. That would definitely be awesome. All right, everybody. So I was Adam Vale, and I was joined by Dana. Got any shout-outs? Anything you want to say?
No, just thank everyone for listening.
All right. Yeah, check out. Dana's been putting out all kinds of great content on the Koalition regarding all the latest wrestling happenings. A lot of stuff going on with AEW and things like that. So check that stuff out. We got Rich. Got anything else you want to say?
Thank everybody for listening. I hope that you enjoy WrestleMania. And please, for the love of God, wash your damn hands.
That is true. Yeah, there you go. Right? Wash those hands. But that's something you shouldn't even have to tell people. I mean, for decades, we've seen that in bathrooms. Hey, before you leave, wash your hands. When you go to eat food, when you do. But you know what? People don't care.
Oh, they don't care.
There's plenty of people that just don't care. All right, what about you, Ricky? Any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout out to all the listeners. Thanks for listening. Keep supporting the Koalition. And do as Rich said, wash your damn hands. Be safe and be healthy. Please use some common sense. These are some scary times. So, everyone be safe.
Yes.
Yep. The same here. Everybody be safe. Enjoy wrestling. Appreciate the fact that we're even getting this. It's still happening. Like I said earlier, there's so many other leagues and promotions out there that they're just off. But here it is, good or bad, whether you like it or not, we still are being entertained by Vince McMahon and the WWE. So, if it was anybody else, I don't think it would be happening. But Vince's model, the show must go on regardless. So, we'll remember this for decades to come. All right, everybody, have a good weekend, and we'll see you here for the next pay-per-view, which I think will be an AEW show. I think that's the next one. That's coming. Who knows? We take it day by day now, right? So anything's possible. All right, well, have fun, everybody. Later.